Welcome to the following presentation of the Southeastern Conference on ABC.
One of college football's oldest rivalries is renewed on Black Friday in Starkville. It's the 122nd meeting between number 7 Ole Miss and Mississippi State, better known as the Egg Bowl. A ton at stake today as Lane Kiffin looks to lead Ole Miss to its first college football playoff with a win. But whether Kiffin would coach in that game or leave for another job is of great speculation. The Rebels are seeking their first ever 11-win regular season thanks to the emergence of quarterback Trinidad Chambliss. Mississippi State looks to play spoiler and become bowl eligible as true freshman Kamario Taylor makes his first start for the Bulldogs. But the game has been overshadowed by the rumors about the immediate future of Lane Kiffin. With more, here's Marty Smith.
Dave, this is the greatest era of Ole Miss football ever. In fact, the victory today would mark the first 11-win regular season in 132 years of Rebel football. The leader of that historic rise here at Ole Miss, obviously, Lane Kiffin. And as a result of that, he's the prettiest girl at the dance in the wildest coaching carousel we've ever seen in college football. Florida wants him. LSU wants him. Ole Miss wants to retain him. 1 week ago, Ole Miss Athletic Director Keith Carter released a statement. We would like to have an answer and expect to have an answer tomorrow on Saturday. I interviewed Kiffin on the field here just about an hour ago and asked him pointedly, where are you in this decision-making process? He pointed to the game, but said, Marty, this has been going on for weeks. Yeah, the noise is loud, but we're used to it, Dave.
And obviously, Marty, we'll be talking about that throughout the entire day. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor. All right, Dusty, as a player, what's your mindset? You're going into your rivalry game, and you're dealing with all this outside noise.
Well, it's very simple if you're a player for Ole Miss. It's one singular focus, and it's to win this game. When this season started, this team came together. They had hopes, aspirations, dreams of playing in the college football playoff for a national championship. You win today, you see those achieved, and it's about leadership. And we talked to the quarterback, Trinidad Chambliss, this week. He took to social media and he talked to this football team and he reminded them, we cannot allow this to be a distraction. We have to stay focused, we have to stay locked in, and we cannot let this take away from what we've done in the position we're in here today.
It's arguably the biggest game in modern history for Ole Miss, with a playoff spot at stake as they face their arch rival. And the man himself, Lane Kiffin, will join Taylor McGregor live when we come back to Starkville. Welcome to the SEC on ABC, presented by Target. Okay, let's hear from the head coach at Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin, standing by with Taylor McGregor.
Thank you, Dave. Coach, there's been a lot of outside noise the last couple weeks regarding your future. How have you kept your group focused on the task at hand today?
Well, these guys have been dealing with that for a lot of weeks in a row, so we're focused on going 1-0. There's a lot on the line here. Rivalry games, records mean nothing, but to get to 11 wins for the first team in the history of this state would be amazing, but we're going to have to play really consistent and play really well football for 4 quarters.
Yeah, you said it. Records mean nothing in a rivalry game. What is the biggest challenge in this Egg Bowl?
Just to stay composed. You know, these guys are really good. They have a really good offense and some dynamic playmakers, so we got to play really well, win the turnover battle, and limit explosive plays.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys.
Dave?
And if they win, Taylor, they still could make it to the SEC title game next week. They would need help. Losses by A&M tonight against Texas on ABC, and Alabama in the Iron Bowl on ABC tomorrow. Ole Miss won the toss and elected to receive. Kyle Ferry will kick it deep. Isaiah Hartrup is the deep man. Texas A&M is in the SEC title game of the win. So is Alabama. That's why the Rebels need to win and get help. It'll be a touchback. And Trinidad Chambliss, who was the backup to Austin Simmons to start the season, Got his first start in the third game against Arkansas, and the Rebels have not looked back. He's a transfer from Ferris State, where he won a Division II national championship last year. Since his first start, he's third in the country in total offense, and he's down to his third jersey. Lane Kiffin told us that both of the jerseys that he had in his locker room were stolen by Mississippi State at 1 and 3 in the morning today. And on first down, Chambliss throwing, and it's caught by Wallace. And it's a gain of 2.
Only adds to the rivalry with stealing the quarterback's jersey, and Chambliss has been nothing short of sensational. You see the ball jump out of his hand as a thrower, an excellent runner, and very difficult to defend.
And here is Lacey, who's been one of the best backs in the country, and he's hit hard at the 29-yard line. That was Brandon Jennings, and that would be huge for Mississippi State if they can stop Lacey. He's 6th in the country with 1,136 yards.
Well, Jennings lowers the boom, but Isaac Smith back with this team. First contact, great to see him in on that tackle on this opening possession.
Chambliss on 3rd down and 5 with time to throw, and it's pulled in, and keeping his balance, Wallace all the way down to the 35-yard line. 35-yard gain on 3rd and 5.
Well, you mentioned the pressure. Watch this in cut you're going to see here from Wallace, and just a strike delivered from Chambliss. 3-man rush, no pressure, and a nice first down.
Lacey down to the 31 for 5 more yards. Mississippi State has allowed 629 rushing yards the last 2 games. The Bulldogs with a win would get bowl eligible. They have 1 conference win in 2 seasons with Jeff Levy as the head coach. They beat Arkansas a few weeks back, but they've been blown out in their last 2 games since. Here's Lacey again, trying to get the edge, and does. And he's got the 10, and he's got the end zone. Touchdown, Ole Miss. A 32-yard run. Lacey's 20th rushing touchdown. That leads the nation. What a start for Ole Miss, with the outside noise and the inside noise about the future of Lane Kiffin. Able to march down the field in less than 2 minutes and hit pay dirt. Carnero on for the point after. 7-0 Rebels.
Well, it's about setting edges, and this has been a problem for Mississippi State. The safety, Brylan Lanier, is going to come down, and he's got to set this edge. Watch Kudus, the offensive guard, 75, come out. When Lanier comes down, he's got to keep that outside shoulder free. He gets blocked, comes inside. Excellent blocking on the perimeter by Stribling. And Kewan Lacey with his 20th touchdown, and a great start for the Rebels.
It's 7-0 Rebels here in Starkville. Ole Miss has won 2 straight Egg Bowl games, 4 of the last 5. Won 2 straight here at Davis Wade Stadium. And fair catch, so it will come out to the 25 on the touchback. Camario Taylor. Oh, because he dropped the ball, he muffed the kickoff, so it's going to stay there. So terrible field position for Camario Taylor at the 3-yard line. The true freshman, highest rated quarterback recruit in school history. He's played in 9 games. He's accounted for 9 touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns against Georgia. Jeff Levy told us yesterday it was hard to bench Blake Shapen, who had started 36 straight games. But right now, Taylor gives us the best chance to win. Devon Booth suspended for the first half for disciplinary reasons, so he's not starting at running back. Fluff Bothwell is the tailback. Bothwell hit at the 1 and a loss on the play. Will Eccles, who's been so good all year, was in the backfield first.
He has been the most consistent of these defensive linemen all season. Just stout inside. Really good job staying square, being disruptive, and making that play.
Taylor throwing, and it's caught at the 20-yard line by Brennan Thompson, his 48th catch on the season. He's number 2 in the SEC in receiving yards.
But that is a confidence-building throw for Camario Taylor to complete that, and a nice chunk explosive play on this opening drive.
Bothwell up to the 25, a gain of 5. Our impact player is brought to you by Chewy.
Well, we just saw one. Brennan Thompson from Mississippi State on the catch. It's as explosive a receiver as there is in the country. Isaac Smith, who was taking the locker room for Mississippi State defensively. Suntarian Perkins, and we've already seen Keewan Lacey with that 20th touchdown in their opening drive.
Ole Miss defense so improved the last few games, and getting the first down is Camario Taylor. Coaches say he's very intelligent, understands the offense extremely well, has great intangibles. He's put on about 30 pounds. He's 6'4", 230 since arriving here in Starkville. He'll throw, and across the middle, it's caught. And it's Traore, the tight end, all the way down to the 39 for a gain of 30.
Well, watch Traore just work his way in the middle of the field, and Taylor has time and fires a strike over the middle. Nice job after the catch by the big 6'4", 235-pound tight end, and a big play.
Good job by the umpire to duck, as well as that was a bullet thrown by Taylor. Bothwell gets the carry, runs out of real estate on the right sideline, pushed out by Andrew Jones, a gain of just a couple.
Well, early accuracy, quick decision-making, and you see the ball jump out of the hands of the young freshman quarterback, Camario Taylor. You mentioned his size earlier, Dave, 6'4", 230, and he is a weapon as a runner, physical, downhill, and best believe that's going to be a big portion of this game plan for Jeff Levy at Mississippi State.
From Macon, Mississippi, about 30 miles south of here. Bothwell can't find a hole. He is swallowed after a gain of 1 by true freshman Andrew Maddox. It'll bring up 3rd down and long.
The 3rd downs, Anthony Evans has been a go-to guy for this offense throughout the course of the season. Top of your screen.
Taylor throws to the left, and Thompson makes the defender miss to get the first down all the way to the 25-yard line. Don't know if he picks up that first down, if he doesn't make that defender miss. But a fresh set of downs.
How about the pocket presence here of Taylor? Bodies around him. He's just cool, calm, collected. Delivers that ball with good accuracy, and you touched on it, Dave. How about that? Puts him in a spin cycle, makes him miss. An excellent job after the catch, and a really good start by Brennan Thompson. Jeff Levy said FTS, feed the stud, and the top of that list was Brennan Thompson for here today.
Back to the ground game. Eccles grabs the running back, Fluff Bothwell, after a short gain.
Just a very good answer here on this drive. When you think about muffing that kick, getting the tackle for loss, backed up inside your own 2-yard line, and to put yourself here right outside the red zone, it's an ideal start here for Camario Taylor at his first start.
Taylor off the left side with room, inside the 10, and Taylor's in for a Mississippi State touchdown. They go 97 yards in just over 4 minutes, and Taylor's 6th rushing touchdown of the season in his first career start. Longest drive of the season for the Bulldogs. And again, Jeff Levy said,
please reset the game clock to 8:50.
when we met with him last night.
Thank you.
That he didn't harp on it a lot with the team because he didn't want to embarrass Blake Shapen, who's been such a good leader and teammate. But he did feel that the move to go to Taylor energized the locker room. And you could really see it on that opening possession, along with the skill set of Kamario Taylor on full display. And Ferry ties the game at 7.
Well, it's Taylor with the touchdown, but watch the blocking. Okay, it's ideal. Fluff Bothwell. You're going to see Perkins come in. He's going to pick this up. Now watch backside guard. You're going to pull your tight end, and everybody is going to be perfect. 75, Jacoby Jackson. Traore gets on the perimeter, and Taylor strolls in the end zone as we're tied early here in the Egg Bowl.
The rematches are next here on ABC. Georgia Tech from Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and then Texas A&M. Unbeaten, number 3 in the college football playoff. They are in the SEC championship if they can beat Texas. But Arch Manning playing much better of late. Might have something to say about that. Touchback, it'll come out to the 25. Let's check in with Taylor.
Well, Dave, Mississippi State linebacker Isaac Smith has missed the last game and a half with a lower body injury. And just moments ago, he was taken into the locker room. He came back out with a heavily taped right ankle. He's on the field right now, but he was on the sideline trying to roll out that right ankle. This is important because coaches said there's such a difference when Isaac Smith is on the field versus when he's not. He's the guy who helps create an edge for this defense, something they need right now.
Yeah, Taylor, he's got a level of physicality and a presence about him, and this rivalry means the world to him. They need 2 on the field here today.
Chambliss rolling out, and a diving catch is made for a first down by Trey Wallace. Spent 4 years at Penn State. He is the leading receiver on this Ole Miss team in his first year with the Rebels and first time in this rivalry game. Three catches already for Wallace, 45 on the year. Lacey, who had that 32-yard touchdown run on the last possession, picks up 3 to the 40-yard line, wrapped up by Malik Silla.
And this will be the question all throughout this game. Can this Mississippi State run defense that has really struggled the last 3 weeks slow down Keewan Lacey? Because expect to see a heavy dose of 5 here today for this Ole Miss offense.
4 carries, 42 yards already for Lacey. Played 6 games and carried the ball 23 times last year at Missouri before transferring. Out in space, Watkins, a true freshman, gets the first down for Ole Miss into Bulldog territory.
With Winston Watkins and this whole receiving core, it just is so deep, and you can go to different guys, but he had a slow start to the season, and as things ramped up, especially that Oklahoma game, the true freshman's been great.
Not much that time. Up the middle for Lacey. Bottled up by Jere Bledsoe. A gain of 1.
When they need to see that, Jere Bledsoe, I think, is the most talented of these interior defensive linemen. They need Travion Williams. They need Kedrick Bingley Jones, and especially Bledsoe inside to be able to hold the point and hold that line of scrimmage here today.
Lacey off the right side, trying to cut it back, and he gets smacked. Big hit by Zachary Tillman. Gain of 1, 3rd and long.
Well, this is what you're looking for. Watch Tillman come over the top and lower the boom. This is what they need. Nice job setting edges, forcing the cutback, and Tillman coming downhill, making a big hit on Keewan Lacey.
Chambliss steps up and takes off, dives close to a first down, and appears to have it. He does at the 34. Chambliss always seems to make the right decisions.
He does, and he is such a natural runner. Watch him feel this, and he sees it, and he knows I can get there immediately. And the acceleration, an excellent job diving to get the first down.
Chambliss fires. There's a flag down. The catch is made by Watkins. He broke a tackle and close to a first down. We'll see what the penalty's about. But what a great story Trinidad Chambliss is. Austin Simmons was supposed to replace Jackson Dart. He started the first 2 games, got hurt against Kentucky. Chambliss got the start the next game against Arkansas and has never looked back.
Number 27 of the defense lined up in the neutral zone. The result of the play of the first down, the penalty is declined.
Chambliss started 16 games in 3 years at Ferris State. That's not FCS. That's Division II, and he won a national title there. But back in week 3, when we met with Lane Kiffin, he said there's something about this young man. We feel really good about him, and boy, was he right.
They knew they had something special. Going back to the fall, the first scrimmage he had, 6 possessions, 6 touchdowns, and it was pretty much then that both Weiss and Kiffin knew this kid's got something, and boy, he's shown it ever since he's gotten the reins of this offense.
And Chambliss going to the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown by Wallace. What a throw by Chambliss, right on the money for 6.
I mean, you cannot throw it any better than that. And Trinidad Chambliss has been perfect here today. 6 of 6 so far in this game. A big third down conversion and an absolute dime delivered there to Trey Wallace. Talked about that leadership. And Trinidad Chambliss told us they've been laser focused. Boy, he looks like he's been laser focused with the preparation and execution so far in this game.
And we asked him, have you guys addressed the noise with Lane Kiffin? Have you talked to Coach Kiffin? He dismissed it. He just said, we are focused on winning this game. And that certainly looks the case here in Starkville. It's 14-7. Ole Miss trying to get to the college football playoff with the victory. Student athletes, thank you to Allstate. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor. Colin Wilson muffed the opening kickoff, so he's not back this time. Devon Booth, their normal returner, he is not playing in the first half for disciplinary reasons. It'll be a touchback and come out to the 25. Our drive recap is brought to you by Target.
Well, Kamario Taylor making his first start today for Mississippi State, and the true freshman was outstanding. From his 2-yard line, a strike to Brennan Thompson. And how about this? Just perfect accuracy, hitting his big tight end over the middle. And we talked about his size at 6'4", 230. The quarterback counted, good blocking, but then the downhill running, just a glimpse of that opening drive of the skill set and the challenges that Ole Miss will face defending Kamario Taylor here today.
Mississippi State leads the country in opening drive touchdowns, yet they've got a losing record at 5-6. Taylor running to the right. He's got a touchdown running or passing now in 6 straight games, and picks up a couple there before Xavier Harris shoves him out of play.
I think that opening drive is a glimpse for everyone to see why Jeff Levy made this tough move. Blake Shapen, a veteran senior quarterback on senior day, but he felt Kamario Taylor gives this team the best chance to win, and they want to close out this season with a bowl game and postseason play.
Between the tackles, it's Xavier Gayton, just his 23rd carry of the year. He'll come up short of a first down by a couple yards. Gayton had a critical lost fumble in a game against Florida, a game Mississippi State lost by 2. They lost in overtime to Texas and Tennessee, but beat Arkansas. Well, they've been close to winning more SEC games than just the one. Didn't win a single conference game a year ago, but greatly improved from 2024. Taylor keeps it himself, got the first down and more. Out to the 37 for a gain of 4.
Well, it's a numbers game. Look at the numbers in the box. Only 5. You got the numbers advantage. Now just run the football with your quarterback. Bring your tight end over. You got 6 to block 5, and you got a big quarterback. It's a good play call. Spread out the field, get the numbers in your favor, and let your quarterback go to work.
They'll operate out of empty set now on first down at the Mississippi State 38. And Taylor behind Thompson, who may have scored. He's the fastest man in the country. He catches that in stride. He might be gone.
Pass just a little bit behind him. One that Kamario Taylor wishes he could have back. A deep in-cutting route. Pastell's just behind him. You touched on it, Dave. Former state record holder in the 100-meter in the state of Texas. A 10-1 from Brennan Thompson. And boy, he can absolutely light you up if he gets the football in open space.
First incomplete pass for Taylor. Gayton off the left side. And a short game, maybe two, before he's grounded by Suntarian Perkins. It'll be 3rd down and long. Mississippi State picked up a big 3rd down on the last possession. In fact, they were 2 of 2 on that opening drive on 3rd down before scoring. Taylor, and nobody home. Receiver run a deep route. The ball was thrown towards the sideline. That's Brennan Thompson down at the 10-yard line of Ole Miss, so it's going to be a punt.
Yeah, Brennan Thompson, Kamario Taylor on completely different pages. He was expecting a comeback route on the outside, and Brennan Thompson just continued to run vertical the entire way. Conversation I would hope would be had over on the sideline between quarterback and wide receiver.
Ethan Pulliam will punt. Wallace is the deep man. Has to race forward and makes the fair catch at about the 22. So Trinidad Chambliss in great company when you look at most games with 300 passing yards and 50 rushing yards in the SEC the last 30 years. You got 2 Heisman winners tied with Manziel at 4 in 2012 and 2 fewer than Jaden Daniels with LSU in 2023.
And I'm not so sure if Trinidad Chambliss hadn't started to kick off the season against Georgia State and Kentucky, he wouldn't be more in the Heisman Trophy conversation, because since he's taken over, few people have been as good and impacted their team the way Trinidad Chambliss has here this season. He has been a playmaker, and he's been outstanding and impossible to defend.
He'll give the key one Lacey on 1st down. And a gain of maybe 2 that time. Williams on the stop.
I also think with Trinidad Chambliss, you think about last year, like Lane Kiffin identified after spring, we need to go get another quarterback. He said, you need more than one. They found Trinidad Chambliss, they identified him, they brought him in. And man, the way he's picked up this system with Charlie Weiss and Lane Kiffin has been pretty incredible in such a short amount of time.
Said he's going to ask for another season of college football after this. Throwing deep here, and flags are down as Caden Lee, the intended receiver, got tangled up with Brylan Lanier, the safety.
Pass interference. Defense, number 3. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
Yeah, Lanier knows. I mean, he's going to have Caden Lee just running down the field, going to run past him, and he just wraps him up and holds on. Very easy call for the officials, and Lane Kiffin likes what he's seeing so far from this offense.
Can Mississippi State get a stop? They're going to have to get multiple ones to have any chance of winning this game. As good as Ole Miss's offense has been, you think about it, the one loss they had was at Georgia. They scored 35 points in that game. They actually led Georgia in the 4th quarter by 9 before the Bulldogs came back to win. Off play action, Chambliss on the move, and he hits Lee in the open field for a 1st down all the way to the 40 of Mississippi State. That's a 21-yard gain.
I mean, whether it's from the pocket, it's moving to his right, the accuracy on the move and playmaking ability is off the charts here early in this game from Chambliss.
Lacey, downhill run, picks up about 4. Give credit not just to Lane Kiffin, but also Charlie Weiss, the play caller, for how they've worked with Chambliss to get to this point. And Kiffin told us this week, I knew he'd be good. It was handling the situations like in Norman when they went and beat Oklahoma, because again, he's been playing in front of small crowds at Ferris State. Now you're playing against Oklahoma on the road and having great success. Just nothing phases him as Lacey hits 4 more, bring it up 3rd and 2. Let's check in with Taylor.
And he told us there were nerves before his first start against Arkansas, but it was after that game he realized I can play in the SEC, and his confidence has continued to grow.
Sky high right now as we're seeing in his first taste of the Egg Bowl here in Starkville.
We're going to keep it on the ground in 3rd and 3. And Lacey gets hit hard by Jerron Manning for no gain. And Ole Miss going to keep the offense out there for 4th down.
Boys, Jerron Manning, watch right here. Also 11, the freshman Tyler Lockhart. Watch these guys come downhill and deliver a bowl of tag team action. They're on Kewan Lacey, and as expected, 4th and short. Ole Miss going to go for it. They will direct snap it to Kewan Lacey in these spots.
And you're right on it. Lacey's got the first down. And a touchdown saving tackle by Lanier at the 23-yard line. Ole Miss is now 18 of 28 on 4th down this year.
Well, you're going to see backside tight end pull and get out in front. Just going to be a counter with Kewan Lacey. They love giving him the football in these short yard situations, goal line situations. And will continue to call his number now. 11 carries already in the first quarter for Lacey.
Final seconds of the opening quarter. Chambliss will keep it. And he is run out of bounds at the 11-yard line. Pushed out by Kelly Jones on the final play of the opening quarter. Trinidad Chambliss, 7 of 7 passing. A touchdown, Kewan Lacey. A touchdown run. The Rebels trying to win the Egg Bowl and get to the CFP. This presentation of the SEC on ABC will continue after these messages and a word from our ABC stations.
You are stealing my jersey, Mike Skig. Hey,
Now, what has impressed you the most about your offensive start?
Well, they've come out really well, obviously extremely focused, and they're executing really well, run and pass, and we actually have some bigger plays. They're grabbing us in some cover 0 and got the pass interference. So we need to finish this and get up 21-7 here.
Thank you, Coach.
All right.
Dave?
A lot of speculation about this being the last game for Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. We spoke with athletic director Keith Carter before the game. He said he believes Kiffin is staying as that pass by Chambliss thrown off target. He and Trey Wallace not on the same page. Kiffin in his 6th season now led them to 3 consecutive 10-win campaigns with a win. They're basically in, even if they were to make the SEC title game and lose. And obviously their chances drop significantly. The committee would consider, if Kiffin takes another job and isn't coaching Ole Miss, whether they would make the college football playoff if he's not here. An announcement will come tomorrow. Keith Carter reiterated that to us on the field. But again, he believes Kiffin is staying. He said there is a contingency plan. As there's movement up front in the penalty flag, if Kiffin were to leave, likely on this current staff, an interim head coach.
Start. Offense, number 75, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And I really appreciated Keith Carter talking with us before the game, like you mentioned. Very honest, very open. Kind of told us everything that was going on. There's an agreement between them that a decision would come so that they can start to move forward. What that looks like if Ole Miss wins and they're in an SEC championship playoff, we'll find out. But like you said, Dave, the expectation from the Ole Miss athletic director is that Lane Kiffin's the coach moving forward.
Kiffin told us earlier in the week he has not made a decision, and Carter believes that as well. They run Lacey on 3rd and 13. They only get about 5. It's 4th down and 8, and Ole Miss will send down the field goal team, and Mississippi State able to finally get a stop.
Well, that feels like a significant stop, and I know just to force a field goal, giving up a lot of yards, but find a way to force this field goal and keep them out of the end zone feels significant for the defensive coordinator Coleman Hutzler and just the confidence of this defense overall.
37-yard attempt by Lucas Carnero, one of the best kickers in the country, 21 of 23 on the season. But he hooks it wide to the left.
Well, the snap looks good. The hold gets down, and he just pulls it. Wide left, a rare miss for one of the best kickers in all of college football. Now Kamario Taylor going to get the ball with a chance to try to tie this game up.
Just the third miss all season for Carnero.
Jeff Levy loves it. That's what they need, something to feel good, positive. A defense can go over there and look at each other and start to build off of that. And now we'll see what this offense does after the defense gets a stop.
36 rushing yards and a touchdown for Taylor. He's in trouble on first down, able to escape. Get back to the line of scrimmage and up to the 22. Should have lost a handful. Instead, he gained 2 yards.
Well, this is part of it. I mean, that play had disaster written all over it, but this offensive line has struggled all year. And the tackles for loss, the sacks, they've continued to mount, and that's a part of this, why Taylor gives them a better opportunity with an offensive line that's had their issues.
Yeah, Shapen would have been set. No question of that play. Taylor breaks free at the 40. Taylor still going. And finally run out at the 40 of Ole Miss.
Well, they continue to get the ball in the perimeter. This time it's 10. Cam Ball, the tight end that's going to get outside and help lead the way. Both tight ends, Traore, Cam Ball, and that speed and downhill running on the perimeter from Kamario Taylor.
39-yard gain. He's already got 77 rushing yards on the day. Taylor throwing, it's tipped, and it is picked off. It was deflected by the tailback, and then Uman Mielen gets the interception. So it was tipped twice by a D lineman, then off the fingertips of the running back and into the arms of Uman Mielen.
Well, it's going to be Will Eccles inside. Shuts his pass rush down, gets his right hand up. Watch it work inside here and really do a nice job getting right in this throwing lane and getting the initial deflection of this football. Right hand's up, then it's off the hand of Bothwell, like you mentioned, and a huge interception for Uman Mielen to get their offense the football back. Just a tough play there. Eccles with the deflection. Bothwell tries to grab it. The old tip drill. And Lane Kiffin's fired up from his defense, getting a takeaway.
First interception from Taylor. And they're able to move the ball at will against Ole Miss so far in this game. They've got 153 yards of offense. 198 on offense for Ole Miss. Chambliss on the run, flips it downfield, and just off target. Intended for Wallace, who had a step on Isaac Smith.
And Trey Wallace just been a really good addition to this receiving corps. Several additions. Dejon Stribling, Deuce Alexander, all these new faces. They had to revamp, retune this receiver corps, and well, they have been really good. And the quarterback does an excellent job spreading the football around, but a rare miss there down the field.
Play action. Chambliss overthrows Watkins, so that is now 3 consecutive incompletions for Chambliss after he started 7 of 7, and it brings up 3rd down and 10.
And that pass just sails high. Good coverage there from Manning. Pass high, and boy, how big would this be if Mississippi State, after the turnover, could get a quick 3 and out. Daquan Wright's one of their favorite, Daquan Wright, favorite target, 3rd downs. See him in motion.
Just a 2-man pressure, and Chambliss taking a shot, but overshoots Watkins. So there's the 3 and out. Mississippi State will get it back.
Boy, Trinidad Chambliss just off here because he's got what he wants. Winston Watkins going to run a deep post, and he gets the safety. Isaac Smith turned around, and this pass just sails clear of his wide receiver. It's an off possession there for Trinidad Chambliss, and back-to-back stops now for this Mississippi State defense.
Got to help their confidence as Bird gets rid of the punt. There's a flag down. Evans backpedaling, makes the fair catch at the 11. The penalty marker is at the 43 of Ole Miss. Early second quarter, the Rebels up 14-7 in this 122nd meeting. Battle of the Golden Egg, a trophy that started in 1927, but these two teams started playing in 1901 right here in Starkville.
Illegal formation against the receiving team. Number 88 of the defense was lined up over the long snapper. 5-yard penalty will be tacked on to the end of the kick. First down.
It's the 10th most played rivalry in the country, second most in the SEC, behind Auburn, Georgia. Mississippi State with possession, down 7 when we come back.
The Triple Treat Box is back, so you can holiday as hard as this guy.
Look who I found on the roof.
What were you thinking?
Holiday harder with the Triple Treat Box from Pizza Hut.
Well, I've been afraid of changing 'cause I've built my
Hold on to every memory this time of year. And make it another December to remember. Because the greatest measure of the season is how it makes you feel. The December to Remember sales event. Get offers on select models.
Every single day, you know, the usual mom stuff.
All right, so you're gonna tell me where we're going now?
Absolutely not.
Why?
I'm telling you till we get there.
I'm telling you.
No way I'm telling you.
On a confrontational Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
And Ole Miss got off to a good start with Kewan Lacey scoring from 32 yards out. Mississippi State bounced back with a touchdown by the quarterback Camario Taylor in his first career start, and Chambliss a deep ball to Wallace to make it 14-7. Mississippi State back on offense at its 12-yard line. A turnover by State on its last drive. They run Bothwell here, puts his head down and picks up 2, tackled by Wydett Williams. Ole Miss playing for a spot in the college football playoff. If they can win this game, still a chance, albeit would need a lot of help to get into the SEC title game. And the Bulldogs trying to get bowl eligible. Taylor in trouble, gets away from the defender. There's a late flag thrown, and Taylor slides at about the 26-yard line.
I think it's going to be a hold on the right tackle, Albert Reese.
Holding. Offense. Number 76. Half the distance to the goal. Second down.
Well, Cam Franklin throws his arms up, and I think it draws the attention of the official, draws this flag. I didn't see a lot, but when he threw his hands up, sometimes as the defensive lineman, you can sell it. It looked like he did a pretty good job trying to sell that hole, but well, that negates a really big pickup there by Taylor.
And the official took a few more seconds before. I don't know if he had trouble getting his flag out or if he wasn't sure that he was going to throw the flag before he finally put the penalty marker down. Taylor in trouble on his goal line and gets hit as he throws the ball away. Incomplete pass. There is a flag down in the area of offensive holding again. It was Xavier Harris that looked like he was getting held. Eccles as well. Lane's going to decline it.
Holding. Offense number 72. That penalty is declined. Third down.
Would have only been half the distance to the goal, so you certainly understand Kiffin declining the penalty. It'll be 3rd and 16. Dangerous spot here for a young quarterback, probably throwing from his own end zone. Turned it over, albeit not his fault, on a tip pass on the last possession. Taylor from the end zone over the middle, caught Bothwell, wrapped up at the 15. A gain of 9. That will give the punters some breathing room here. That's if they punt it. The offense is on the field.
They got to punt the football. Yeah, you got to punt the football.
It took Jeff a little time there, Levy, before he sent them out. He did go for it against Missouri a couple weeks ago inside his own 25.
I think a little bit too early in a one-score game to be going for it inside your own 20. But a good stop for Ole Miss, a defense that has been much improved here the last 4 or 5 games of this season.
William, a line drive right at Wallace. Fair caught at the 37. Let's take a look at this week's college football playoff bracket brought to you by Capital One. Now, you see Miami at number 11. That's basically a placeholder. They would have to win the ACC championship to guarantee a spot. The top 4 remains unchanged. Ole Miss was number 6 last week, but after Oregon trounced USC, they flip-flopped.
Yeah, Oregon, I think the committee was waiting to see them beat a good team. They did. They rewarded them. Ole Miss was on a bye. And there's just so much up in the air today, tomorrow. What a weekend of college football. This is as good a weekend, rivalry week with all the rivalries, the games that are at stake for conference championships, for playoff spots, as good as I can remember here today and tomorrow.
Lacey can't slip a tackle on the edge. Tripped up by Smith. And this is what we've got coming up for you next on ABC. It was a classic last year, an 8 overtime game that Georgia won, and then you got Texas trying to spoil A&M's unbeaten season tonight. And a great lineup for you tomorrow as well on ESPN and ABC. Lacey to the 40, a gain of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
When Isaac Smith is flying around out there, and we talked about his presence, about his physicality. Watch him come downhill, lower the shoulder once again, and just let Kewan Lacey feel it. Love what I'm seeing from Isaac Smith here in this first half.
Dad Reggie played at Ole Miss, so he knows all about this rivalry going back to his childhood. Chambliss to the air on 3rd and 6. Pressure off the edge. Pass to the sideline. And out of bounds. Intended for Caden Lee. And it's 4th down and 6. And Ole Miss will punt again.
Well, boy, it's 3 straight stops now for Mississippi State. The coverage is excellent. And this pass just sails a little bit high. Caden Lee gets up but can't get his feet in. And Mississippi State's found something here defensively against this Ole Miss offense.
Well, Chambliss is 1 for his last 6 after a 6-for-6 start. Evans has the football on the fair catch at the Mississippi State 14. Lane Kiffin's Rebels up 7 in this rivalry game.
An ice cold Coca-Cola is perfect, but only at Sonic can you get a free Coca-Cola that's perfect for you with endless flavors like cherry, vanilla, jalapeno, coconut, and cream. Create a Coke your way, any size, any flavor, free for a limited time, only at Sonic.
We wanted to make foods using unique ingredients, things like kelp. Shopify provided us this platform to sell our products to anyone around the world. We're Barnacle Foods, and we're powered by Shopify.
Never thought this would happen. We got you.
When disaster threatens to put production weeks behind, call the team prepared to be there in minutes. Serve Pro like it never even happened.
One of these people uses the Colgate Total Active Prevention System. It's 15 times more effective at fighting the root cause of many oral health problems. As for the other guy,
Sarah, good luck.
be dentist ready with Colgate Total.
Tired of struggling with impossible messes in your tub and shower? Mr. Clean Foaming Bath Magic Eraser cuts through 100% of soap, scum, and grime, while Mr. Clean Extra Durable effortlessly tackles messes throughout your home. Switch to Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
Or will he go? Would it be Florida, LSU, or Ole Miss? Well, it won't be the Florida Gators. According to Pete Thamel, ESPN's college football insider, the Gators are moving on based on irregular communication with Kiffin recently that leads them to believe his interest interests lie elsewhere. So is it LSU or Ole Miss? Ole Miss Athletic Director Keith Carter expects an answer tomorrow. I will tell you guys, based on my ongoing conversations with Kiffin throughout all of this, I'm not sure he even knows as we stand here right now. It's kind of like that Nate Bargatze Saturday Night Live skit where he plays George Washington. Nobody knows.
Well, and that was our read on not only Kiffin as Taylor keeping the ball and still going.
Yeah,
great run out to the 22. But in our conversations with Lane as well, Marty, and then just our group conversation, the three of us along with Taylor McGregor talking with Keith Carter on the field. And Lane Kiffin was walking by. He actually joined the conversation. Now, at that point, we were talking about Trinidad Chambliss. Lane brought up, hey, did you guys know Trinidad Chambliss had his jersey stolen by Mississippi State? But it's just kind of interesting as we're talking with his boss about him, and then Lane just happens to walk up and join the conversation.
He knew what we were talking about.
Yes.
He knew exactly what we were talking about, Taylor.
But the best part about the Trinidad Chambliss story, guys, his jersey was stolen once. So it was stolen once. The equipment staff went in, realized it was stolen. So they set up cameras, replaced the jersey, and then they got the guys on camera stealing it again. And then the best part was pregame, I went up and asked Jeff Levy about it, and he said, I actually think that it was Lane Kiffin. So he asked Lane Kiffin pregame, are you sure that wasn't you? That seems like something you would do.
I like it. Adds to the rivalry, adds to the sizzle of this year's Egg Bowl.
Bothwell up the middle for a gain of 4. And again, the read that we got also from Athletic Director Keith Carter is that he doesn't believe Lane Kiffin has made a decision, but he told us a decision will be given. Now, he didn't say that Lane was given an ultimatum. He said it was a group decision that Lane would tell them by tonight or tomorrow morning whether he was staying or not.
A highly anticipated decision that will have Rebels and Tigers fans on the edge of their seat, as we now know from Marty that the Gators are officially off the Lane train.
Well, and again, in talking with Carter, we brought up the fact, well, what if Kiffin leaves? Will he be able to coach the team in the college football playoff? He said a decision has not been made. Nothing is off the table. But he wouldn't feel great as Taylor is hit hard at the 32 on 3rd down and 3 and doesn't get the first down about Kiffin going to a rival and then staying to coach Ole Miss in the college football playoff. It's also possible Kiffin could then take staff members with him. We asked Carter about that. He said, we have a plan in place in case Kiffin and others were to leave.
A lot left to unfold. And again, they got to worry about winning this game before you worry about, what does it mean for potential playoff, SEC championship. The matter at hand is to beat Mississippi State and then figure that out. But there's still a lot left to figure out.
As Wallace juggles that, but is able to secure it.
A lot left to unfold here between today into tomorrow morning.
Midway point of the second quarter, and Ole Miss with the ball, leading by 7 when we come back to Starkville.
Credit Mississippi State's defense. They've done an excellent job stopping the run game. Kejuan Lacey was hot knife through butter early, but now this Mississippi State defense has been downhill, it's been aggressive, it's been attacking, and Trinidad Chambliss has been off. He started 7 for 7, 0 for his last 5, with 4 of those being overthrows. I'd expect to see them get him involved in the run game. We haven't seen him impact much with his legs. Maybe some more short, intermediate throws instead of trying to push the football down the field. Get him back into the flow, get him back into a rhythm here on this drive.
That was Coleman Hutzler, the defensive coordinator for Mississippi State, holding them to 10 yards here in the second period. Chambliss on the move, a short dump off to the tight end right, but he gets only a yard on the play. Flying to the football was Mitchell and Smith.
Well, Isaac Smith is all over the place, and as expected, just a short, easy throw. See him make a completion. But that Bulldogs defense up to the task, flying around. Nice job for a minimal gain.
Chambliss had been 0 for his last 5 before that completion. His pass caught, but an immediate tackle is made by Lanier on Watkins at the 24, a gain of 6.
And tackling has been a real issue for Mississippi State. But good tackling once again. Lanier, watch, as soon as this ball's out, he triggers, goes downhill, and it's catch tackle. Pressure coming off the edge. They're going to change the play at the line of scrimmage. That corner was coming. They caught it. Will they call it off? Mississippi State check, as Ole Miss does.
Chambliss with time, checks it down, and it's a first down and more for Lacey. A gain of 15 to the 39-yard line.
Well, few people in the country make defenders miss like Kewan Lacey, and you'll see it on this third down. Lanier's going to come downhill, and he's hugging air. Little hesitation, sidestep, and excellent yards after the catch. And a big first down from Kewan Lacey.
25 catches now for Lacey. He's a good receiver out of the backfield. Again, barely played at Missouri last year, transferred to Ole Miss, and is now a finalist for the Doak Walker Award. Another pass play. Chambliss hitting Deuce Alexander on the perimeter for a handful.
And this is the adjustment we've seen now this drive. You notice short, more intermediate throws, just quick hitches. Tight end, running back out of the backfield. We saw the last couple of drives pushing the ball down the field more. Chambliss was off. He's on here in these short, more intermediate throws.
Maybe taking a shot here, though, but everybody covered, so Chambliss finding a running lane and diving to the first down marker at the 49-yard line. A new set of downs as we're inside 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Ole Miss with all of its timeouts and the official 2-minute timeout as well.
That's just making things happen. Not much down the field. It's a muddy pocket, just patient, and he finds a little space to move the chains.
Got 6 rushing touchdowns on the season. Accounted for 51 total touchdowns at Ferris State last year. And here's a shot play, and he's got a wide open man, but he overthrows Winston Watkins. Penalty marker, though, in the secondary. We saw interference called in Mississippi State in a similar situation earlier. Jerron Manning was in coverage that time.
Holding. Defense, number 13. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And Jerron Manning's going to get the hold. You'll see him working right here. A little bit of a double move here from Winston Watkins. Fakes inside, then works back out. And Jerron Manning knows he's beat. He gets that tug, and it draws the flag.
First down at the 41 of Mississippi State. Chambliss design run upended at the 40-yard line. That was Hunter Washington on the hit. Ole Miss trying to win 11 games in the regular season for the first time in school history. Their total wins of 11 back 2 years ago included a bowl. That was the first time that's happened. It's the greatest stretch of football in program history, and this is one of the biggest games in school history. As the ball comes out, the arm hit of Chambliss, and it's still loose, recovered by Mississippi State. And so pushing and shoving after the play, and now a flag. Daquan Wright and Tyler Lockhart get into it, and now the benches are starting to empty. Mississippi State running onto the field late. Another flag is thrown. The Ole Miss players are staying on their sideline, while Mississippi State's bench has come onto the field.
Got to keep your composure in this spot. Both these coaches, these staffs need to get their players, need to pull them back. Boy, the tempers are flared.
Ruling on the field is Malik Silla, forced a fumble on Chambliss, recovered by Mississippi State. And now they got to sort that out, whether the hand was going forward before the ball came out, or after, also after the play, what the penalties will be here. Let's first look to see if this is indeed a fumble, or was the hand going forward?
It's tough to tell from that angle. Silla with an excellent rush off the edge. Got that length, and he gets that right hand on the ball.
Was it not free there by the helmet?
By the defense.
Now let's bring in Matt Austin while they sort this out. Matt, what did you see?
Yeah, Dave, I think this is going to be ruled a forward pass. It looks to me like the hand is coming forward. There's a nice view from behind with the hand still in control of the ball. So I think this is going to be overturned to an incomplete pass.
All right, they will look at that in a second. First, they're still sorting out the penalty flags thrown post-whistle.
Well, that feels like a rivalry, doesn't it, Dave?
But to your point, you got to keep your composure. You just get a takeaway. You don't want to hurt yourself. You got potentially the ball at your 34. You don't want to start throwing punches and get backed up.
And both sides. I mean, it was coming from both sides. As we'll see here off the edge. Really good job dipping, turning that edge, getting to the arm of Chambliss.
Do you see firm control with a hand going forward there?
It is tough for me to tell. Matt Austin was pretty convicted in what he had to say. I think it's a really good look right here.
Got to be clear and obvious.
It does look to me, I agree with Matt Austin. It looks to me like he still has control of the football when that arm starts to come forward.
So Daquan Wright looked to be the one initiating all that.
And then there's Daquan Wright, Lockhart's a freshman. They're locked up over there. You got people grabbing each other's face masks, and coaches start to get involved. The scrum just kind of starts moving, and everybody's pushing. Looked like that 51 might have, like Townsend came in.
And you got the Mississippi State players running onto the field from the bench, too. They got to sort that out. But we have ejections as well as
first and foremost. What is this going to get overturned? And I agree with Matt Austin. I think it's going to.
It would make it 3rd down and 8, Ole Miss. Ball was around the 39 of Mississippi State. So there's a lot to sort out here, because if it's overturned, and we believe that it will be, that there was clear video evidence to overturn it, go back, figure out exactly how much time's on the clock, the down, where to spot the ball, and then figure out, okay, how many penalties are being thrown, what's the yardage, and is anybody ejected, because there were punches thrown.
Take a look again at the scrum. See any? You can't really tell much here, Matt. I mean, how do they determine this, Matt, in a situation like this? How do they go back and determine what penalties get assessed?
Is an incomplete pass. After the play, personal fouls, number 11 and number 51 of the offense. Personal foul, number 8 of the defense. Those fouls offset. 3rd down.
So no ejections there. Right. There were punches thrown. Matt, you surprised that nobody got kicked out? We saw punches there.
Well, replay can help with punches, and it's really hard to tell what's a punch, what's kind of a slap to the face. The one thing that concerns me is normally these would be unsportsmanlike conduct penalties on all the players, because that puts a counter on every player, and if something happens again, then they're ejected. To go with personal foul, that's like, offsetting fouls and nothing really happened, and there's no repercussions moving forward. So I would have liked to see unsportsmanlike conduct penalties.
Well, I like the fact that nobody's assessed any negative penalties. Because to me it was just a bunch of pushing and shoving. Everybody got all amped up. Adds a little bit of drama here.
Oh, the other replay looked like Isaac Smith threw a punch and missed, and Daquan Wright threw a punch from that first angle that we showed you. But offsetting penalties, replay overturns the fumble. So an incomplete pass, 3rd and 8 now at the 39-yard line. Chambliss back to throw, flips it downfield, incomplete, and no flag. Watkins covered well by Manning deep. And it's 4th and 8.
Well, this time Coleman Hutcher's going to dial it up. We're going to bring pressure here, and then pressure from all the way in the back. And it's going to force this pass to be slightly overthrown. Good job by Nick Mitchell getting there. And the coverage is there down the field.
There was a flag. We did not see a flag thrown, but Mississippi State's declining it. It was against Ole Miss. And so it is 4th down and 8. And another punt coming up. It's been a long time since Ole Miss has been stopped in a quarter. I mean, they've done nothing offensively this period after a terrific first quarter.
4 straight possessions now. Going to yield no points for this Ole Miss offense. In the first 2 drives, they just had their way with Mississippi State.
Oscar Bird trying to pin Mississippi State deep. And it takes a huge hop and into the end zone. Oh, my goodness. Ole Miss had a player down there. TJ Banks was waiting for it on the 1, but it scoots into the end zone for a touchback.
This was set up to be perfect and had Mississippi State pinned on the 1, and just terribly misplayed by TJ Banks. Let's take a look from the progressive pylon cam as Banks settles in and just completely misplays this football and allows it into the end zone. What a huge break for Mississippi State.
But now, can the Bulldogs take advantage? They have been able to move the ball against Ole Miss, but they turned it over when they got inside the 40. The last couple possessions, they've had to punt the football. They have 3:07, all their timeouts, and the official 2-minute timeout to work with. And true freshman Kamario Taylor making his first start. Dumps it off. Thompson underneath gets the first down and a gain of 15.
A nice job by Brennan Thompson finding open space, sitting down, and a good confident throw from Taylor.
The highest rated quarterback recruit in school history. It played in 9 games, but Blake Shapen had started 36 in a row until today. A lot of room for Bothwell. And Bothwell still going inside the 40. Ole Miss finally gets to him. Inside the 25, Daugherty.
Well, how about the perimeter blocking outside? It's going to be Anthony Evans. It's going to be 11, Aiden Williams. And then the tight end, Traore, is the lead blocker and sets Bothwell up for that massive chunk run, Dave.
Gain of 43 for Bothwell. Transfer from South Alabama. Seeking his third 100-yard game of the season. No room to run this time as he gets flattened at the line of scrimmage. Maybe 1 yard on the play.
This staff loves Fluff Bothwell, and he had a very good start to the season, and then he's banged up. He missed the Florida game. He missed the Texas game. He's back fully healthy, and you got a glimpse of what he's capable on that big run.
That 43-yard run, the longest of the season for Mississippi State. On the cusp of the red zone, looking to tie it before halftime.
We'll get you ready live from Atlanta, Georgia Tech, Georgia. Right now, we've got Utah in action. Their offense, they've been fantastic. Boog, slim chance to get to the Big 12 championship. Devin Dampier, big play.
No doubt. He's 9 for 14, 129 yards and a touchdown. They are throwing the ball today, Kev.
J.J. Buchanan in the end zone. 10-7 Utes. Back to you, Dave and Dusty.
All right, Kevin and Booger, look forward to hearing from you guys shortly. 2 minutes to go. Each team with 3 timeouts, and Mississippi State near the red zone, down 7, and now outgaining Ole Miss in this football game. Kamario Taylor fakes the swing, now throws it towards the end zone, incomplete. Anthony Evans, the intended target. Wydett Williams in coverage. It is 3rd down and long.
We fake that swing screen outside, get the defenders to jump it, and try to hit Anthony Evans. That pass just off the mark. Anthony Evans unable to elevate and bring that in.
See the numbers for Taylor. An interception on a deflection. He has got 85 rushing yards and a touchdown. On 3rd and 10, it's through the hands of Evans, and he was right at the line to gain. Would have been close to a first down. Instead, it's 4th down, and here comes the field goal unit.
Timing just slightly off. This ball comes out just a touch too early. Evans, as he's out of his break and he turns, that ball's on him too high. I mean, just a beat too quick out of the hand of Taylor, and Evans unable to pluck that football.
Kyle Ferry, who is 11 of 14 on the season, will attempt a 40-yard field goal to make it a 4-point game. And Ferry nails that one. And it's 14-10, Ole Miss. Well, we wondered, would Ole Miss be distracted with all the outside noise about Lane Kiffin? We were assured by players and assistant coaches they wouldn't be. And they came out and played a great first quarter.
Yeah.
It's just Mississippi State has found something defensively after really a struggle all season here in the second quarter.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the execution was superb to start this game for Ole Miss. Trinidad Chambliss has got some overthrows, so you got to factor that in. But the Mississippi State defense, it's flying around. It's playing with physicality. It's tackling well, something they have not done the last 3 games. You couple all of that, and it's really their defense that has kept them in this ball game and find themselves down 4 here late in this second quarter.
Yes, since Ole Miss missed the field goal that would have extended the lead to 17-7, they've had 47 yards on 14 plays and 2 3-and-outs. They'll have 3 timeouts to work with. Mississippi State still with 3. Come out to the 25 after the touchback.
Let's take a look at it. Trinidad Chambliss, we've talked a lot about him today for good reason, and it was a great start. He was on point. You see that excellent throw there in the middle of the field. This touchdown pass to Trey Wallace. You can't throw it any better than that. Since then, he's just been off. Here's a overthrow to Trey Wallace on the move from the pocket. He misses Watkins high and long, and yet another overthrow down the field, missing his intended target. Can Trinidad Chambliss get it back together here before halftime?
Just 27 passing yards on 4 of 11 after that hot start. From his own 25. Chambliss on the rollout. Throws back across the middle, and it's batted down by Jennings.
Boy, Jennings, eyes on the quarterback as he's closing. Watch him just do a good job. Get outside, get right in the path of the quarterback, and get his hands up and get this pass deflection.
A playoff spot on the line for Ole Miss. A chance perhaps still to play for the SEC championship. They've never been to an SEC title game. That's also on the line. Chambliss off play action over the middle, complete. And a first down to Caden Lee. Last year he was a 3rd-team All-SEC receiver, 57 catches, but his numbers way down this year. But Chambliss going to him a handful of times here in this first half. Here he is again on the catch, and he's picked up and slammed. Boy, Jerron Manning all over him. It's a gain of about 4.
This Mississippi State defense has been lacking an edge. They're playing with an edge here today.
And the clock approaching a minute to go. Chambliss. Back shoulder fade is caught by Stribling to the 37 of Mississippi State, and a first down with 56 seconds left.
We haven't called Stribling's name much. How about the route? Excellent job on the back shoulder. Good job on the adjustment by Stribling, and an easy pitch and catch. Got that size, good route runner, 6'2" Dejon Stribling.
21-yard gain. Another pass play. Underneath to right, wrapped up at the 33, and Lane Kiffin will call a timeout. He has got 2 left. The clock is still running, but Kiffin called for time, so they're going to have to put some seconds back on. About 4 seconds came off the clock after Kiffin had called a timeout. That sometimes happens in home games. In rivalry home games, it's going to happen even more.
First time of the half. Ole Miss, 30 seconds in lead.
Soon the officials caught that, but we'll see. Now, Ole Miss 10-1. 6-1 in conference play. The lone loss was against Georgia. Georgia lost to Alabama. Bama lost to Oklahoma. But Bama has the easiest path along with A&M. A&M plays Texas tonight on ABC. Those two teams win. They're in. Ole Miss needs to win and get help.
Very simple. Just like you said, Bama, A&M win. There's your SEC title game. If either one of those two lose, Georgia will go to the SEC championship game, and Ole Miss needs the most help. They got to win this game, obviously, and they need both Alabama and Texas A&M to lose for them to get in. But much like a lot of these conference races, man, it's coming down to the final weekend before we determine who's playing for conference championships.
They put 7 seconds back on the clock, so 50 seconds to go in the half. Chambliss has time, now takes off with everybody covered downfield, and he gets to the ground at the 25-yard line. Clock will stop to reset the chains. 2 timeouts left for the Rebels. They will not use one here.
He's such a dangerous runner. When it's not there down the field, can make a play when there's nothing there.
Chambliss, and it's caught at the 11-yard line by Caden Lee. Gain of 15. Another first down for Ole Miss.
Well, it's the veteran of this group of guys that have been here within this offense. Caden Lee, such a good slot receiver, savvy route runner. You see there on the out route. And on this drive, Chambliss and Lee in perfect sync.
And Chambliss going to run it here and tackled at the 10. Kiffin will call a timeout with 17 seconds left, bringing up 2nd and 9. Boy, Mississippi State can hold Ole Miss to 3, knowing that it will get the ball to start the second half. The Rebels will. That would be huge. And their attempt to pull this upset and get to 6-6 and get bowl eligible for the first time in 3 years.
It feels like this possession here at the end of the half, a lot from momentum standpoint. Mississippi State's got to be feeling good defensively about what they did after those first 2 drives. But if Ole Miss can score right here going in, I think that kind of flips it. Now all of a sudden Ole Miss is able to take that momentum going into halftime. So with 17 seconds left, a timeout for Ole Miss as they sit on the 10-yard line. Very important for how this plays out here before the break.
Ole Miss wins and essentially is in with a loss. They dip to about 42%. And again, the committee would have to consider if Lane Kiffin leaves to go to LSU or somewhere else, whether to penalize Ole Miss for not having its head coach. Chambliss, fade, scribbling. He's got it. Touchdown, Ole Miss. Javen Williams in coverage, but what a catch by Stribling.
It is tremendous. Watch this concentration going up, and this foot comes down inbounds before he hits out of bounds. Just incredible concentration, fighting through the contact, possessing the ball. That right foot comes down inbounds. That's just a tremendous individual effort by Stribling. Little push off there that was not called, but he completes the process of this catch, and it's a big touchdown for Ole Miss before halftime.
With 12 seconds to go. So Trinidad Chambliss with his 2nd touchdown pass of the game. Stribling, Oklahoma State and Washington State transfers 4th receiving touchdown. Carnero, who missed a field goal earlier in the game, buries the extra point, and it's 21-10 Ole Miss. Great response from Lane Kiffin's team.
Well, Trinidad Chambliss, he started so hot today, 7 for 7. Then he really cooled off, and we saw him heat back up here on this final drive. From the pocket, he's got time. Great job by Lacey picking up that blitz. And then go to Stribling, the biggest target outside, 6'2", that back shoulder, easy throw. Caden Lee, we touched on. Great route, good timing there. And then go back to your big target. He's got the size advantage outside. And Lane Kiffin loves seeing that before halftime as his team takes a 2-score lead going into the half.
On that drive, Chambliss 6 of 7, 67 yards and a touchdown for the Division II transfer from Ferris State. There are a lot of complaints about the portal, and we certainly get those complaints. But one of the great things about the transfer portal is players like Trinidad Chambliss.
There's no doubt. He had no Division I offers. He has to go to Division II, and he does a great job at Division II. He leads them to a national championship a season ago. But he wanted to level up. He wanted to see how he could compete at this level of football, and there have been few that have done it better since he's taken over this offense than Trinidad Chambliss.
And he's looking to play one more year. He's going to file for a waiver to play next season. He had a medical red shirt along with just a normal red shirt at Ferris State.
At 21, he redshirted. 22, he told us he medically redshirted. And then 23, 24, obviously was a part of that program at Ferris State. But based off what he told us, it sure seems like he's going to have a very good case and more than likely have the chance to come back and play another year in college football.
Where that will be, who knows? In 2020,
who knows?
5 and beyond. We don't even know where the coach is going to be. Well, Mississippi State just going to take a knee here and go to the locker room. They will get the ball to start the second half. 310 yards of offense for Ole Miss, 234 for Mississippi State, and a total of 31 points scored. He had the turnover by Taylor, a turnover by Ole Miss that was overturned by replay, and those were huge plays in this first half. And you saw, again, extracurricular activity. I wonder if that's what Lane Kiffin is talking about with the officials. He is now with Taylor.
Thank you. We just saw you have an extended conversation with the referees. What were you saying?
Well, we just try to play clean football, man. We try to execute and play really good football. For a whole sideline to try to fight and leave their whole sideline, including their athletic director, I've never seen like it. So I'm just reminding them, like, we're trying to play football here. We're not trying to start a fight so, you know, our university can get credit for fighting people.
How will you address the fighting with your team at half?
We're good. Our guys stay on the sideline like they're supposed to. So we got to execute better in the red zone on offense. We did there at the end. On defense, we calmed down after the beginning, but we need to sustain some drives here and put this game away.
Thank you, Coach. Dave?
And it's 21-10 at halftime with Ole Miss trying to get to the college football playoffs. First ever SEC title game. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor, the two quarterbacks in this game, were supposed to be backups this year. And one of them was until today, but both were very impactful in that first half.
Yeah, Trinidad Chambliss really bookended that half. He started 7 for 7. He closed 6 for 6. It was accuracy, playmaking, on the move. And for Kamario Taylor, his first ever start here today, we saw him impact with his legs, 85 yards. Can he get some more with the passing game down the field? We saw him off a little bit with his wide receivers. Is that an adjustment Jeff Levy makes at halftime? And we see it here this opening drive.
Mississippi State gets the ball to start the second half. Let's check in after the touchback with Taylor.
Well, Dave, I can tell you the biggest adjustment that Mississippi State needs to make here today per Jeff Levy is they have to put all of their energy and emotion into execution. He said that has to happen in order to win this second half. He said defensively, when we get one-on-one, we have to make plays. We did that a little bit in the second quarter. They feel like that's what led to success. As for his message to Kamario Taylor, he said, keep playing the way you're doing. Let's settle in, and he would like him to be a little bit more accurate at times here, Dave.
Benching Blake Shapen Taylor, who had started 36 consecutive games, to go with the true freshman who had played in 8 games previously, but gets the call as the starter today. And going to run it on the first play and drag down to the open field after a 2-yard gain by Perkins.
That's a good perimeter tackle by Centurion Perkins. A big-bodied Kamario Taylor. And he's able to get him to the ground for a very minimal gain.
With the win, Mississippi State would be bowl eligible for the first time in 3 years. Run play here. Bothwell able to bust it to the outside after the hole wasn't there between the tackles. And he gains 4 yards to the 31. The tackle by Andrew Jones. Third down.
Third medium. And we haven't called his name a lot today, but Anthony Evans has been the go-to guy throughout the course of the season. He's in the slot right here. See if Taylor can find him.
No catches yet, just 2 targets for Evans on the day. Over the middle, it's Thompson with the first down catch. Taylor reading the defense, going through his progression, and a 14-yard gain.
So good, Dave. Spot on. Watch him go through his progressions, start left, work all the way back to the right, and find an open Brennan Thompson for a big first down.
Bothwell on the delay with room off the left edge. Lost his footing and down at the 48, but that's a 7-yard gain on first down for Bothwell.
Well, good job. Cannon Boone, the center, pulls out, gets a nice kick out that opens up that space for Bothwell to get a nice pickup on first down.
It's a much maligned offensive line. Playing better, though, today. Helping the run game and protecting Taylor. On the rollout, Taylor dumping it off to Bothwell and leveled at the 47-yard line. Another hit by Perkins and a short gain. Bring it up third down.
Well, last year, Centarian Perkins was more of a designated pass rusher. This year, he's done a much better job being able to tackle out in space. We've seen him twice now with good tackles on the perimeter on this drive. And keep it in Taylor's hands and run the football on this 3rd and short.
Got 9 carries for 87 yards. Instead, between the tackles, run for the tailback, Bothwell. And a first down for Mississippi State. Gain of 8.
Well, the interior of this offensive line does work here and opens up a big hole for Bothwell as he hits it downhill.
They've been able to move the ball throughout the game on Ole Miss, but just 10 points to show for it. The blitz is picked up. Taylor takes off. He absolutely levels Eccles, a defensive lineman, just bounces off of him, but eventually brought down by Daugherty after a short pickup of 2 or 3.
You mentioned the pressure. Watch this pressure come. Watch Bothwell go low on Daugherty just to give Taylor a chance to pick up something. Really good job. And blitz pickup there by Bothwell.
How about the forearm shiver to the defensive lineman by the quarterback? By the way, Devon Booth is in for the first time. He was ineligible to play in the first half. Disciplinary reasons. Taylor. First down, Traore. Trying to hang on to the ball as Ole Miss looks to strip it. It's a gain of 13.
I love the placement of this pass from Taylor. Puts it out in front for Traore to catch it out in front and just be working forward as soon as he catches the football. And good perimeter blocking on the edge.
Play 9 of this possession. And not much there off the right side. Maybe 2 yards for Booth. Chambers tracks him down.
You know, Taylor said Jeff Levy wanted to see execution. This is a very well executed opening drive coming out of the half for Mississippi State.
Booth finds a cutback lane, spins away from a tackler, and down to the 18. Gain of 4. Gushican on the stop, bring it up third down, play 11 coming up.
Line change here for Ole Miss, bringing an entire new fresh front 4 in for this big third down.
Mississippi State has lost 2 straight to Ole Miss, 4 of the last 5. This is the 122nd meeting, the 98th time they've played for the Battle of the Golden Egg. The Egg Bowl trophy starting in 1927. The series dates back to 1901. And a ton at stake. Ole Miss never been to the college football playoff. Almost certainly would get in with a win. Third down, Taylor behind Evans. He could not make the catch, and it ricocheted towards Daugherty, who couldn't make the interception. It's 4th down and 3, and the offense will stay on the field. What do you think of this call?
I think you have to, Dave. I think that they know they've got to score. Touchdowns are what they need to be able to handle Ole Miss. I know you say, well, he's going to change his mind. He's going to kick the field goal, try to get it to a 1-score game. A little surprised. Jeff Levy typically very aggressive, but he's going to try to take the 3.
It's awfully early, though. You make this here, you get it to a 1-score game, and it's a 36-yard attempt for Kyle Ferry, who made one from about 40 earlier, and this one is good. So back to a 1-possession game. Trinidad Chambliss' first snaps of the second half coming off after a brilliant opening half here in Starkville.
The first Ram Fight song was a hit, so I'm back with a sequel. Bald Eagles, fireworks, F-16s, Ram loves college football and big freaking screens. Fight songs, footlongs, blacked out rims, always bet on the team. With Hemi and Jen, with best in class, base diesel torque, we can hot tub at the tailgate and eat more pork.
Who asked for a sequel?
Harry did. Nothing stops college football. Nothing stops Ram.
Sometimes the best beginnings.
122nd Egg Bowl. Go back to 2019. Matt Corral and Elijah Moore bring it to within a point, but then Elijah Moore does that with no fire hydrant in sight. It's a 15-yard penalty. The extra point, no good, and Mississippi State wins by 1.
What did he do? As a play-by-play voice, how do you describe what Elijah Moore was doing there?
No words are necessary, Dusty. And
pictures tell the
that
story.
Situation.
What a great rivalry, though, this Egg Bowl, man. There's been so many moments, so many big games. And obviously this one going to be one of those. We've got the Trinidad Chambliss jersey being stolen, not once but twice. A little scrum going on.
And it's
Lane Kiffin situation, everything surrounding this game, and obviously SEC championship game. College football playoff, a bowl game for Mississippi State. So much on the line, so much at stake here today, Dave.
All on Black Friday. Is Lane Kiffin for sale? Might take 16 or 17 million to get him.
I thought Black Friday you get deals. That doesn't sound like much of a deal, Pat.
Lacey getting to the outside. Stiff-arming a defender at the 39 for a gain of 14. It was Kelly Jones out there trying to tackle him.
How about the vision here by Kewan Lacey? And see the jump cut. He's just so light on his feet as he finds the open space, and then that burst to get a big gain. Nice stiff arm there on Kelly Jones.
89 yards now for Lacey. In trouble here in the backfield. And able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Grounded by Tillman, but no gain on the play.
Much better there by Nick Mitchell, 40, setting the edge, forcing Kewan Lacey back inside to his help. Really well done there on first down.
Ole Miss 113 rushing yards after Mississippi State gave up almost 700 rushing yards. The last two games, losses against Georgia and Missouri. Chambliss with time. Deep ball and through the hands of Wallace. Incomplete with Javen Williams in coverage. Penalty marker is down though.
Holding. Defense number 15. 10-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That's the third time we've seen either defensive holding or defensive pass interference on a deep ball.
Javen Williams working on Trey Wallace. Top of your screen, gets that right hand, gets the grab, that draws the flag. And then Trey Wallace, as he's tracking that ball, not able to get back over and complete that catch.
Would have been a 40-yard gain.
Well, that was a perfectly thrown ball from Trinidad Chambliss.
Logan Diggs in and now at running back. First down at midfield after the penalty. Chambliss stepping up, trying to find some room to run. And he's able to get a couple yards to the 48. Very savvy in the backfield about knowing when to run and finding the running lane, not taking a big hit. Isaac Smith had pressure.
Isaac Smith dialing up some heat there from Coleman Hutzler. He comes from that safety position, and it's a nice job by Chambliss getting a couple of yards.
Here's Diggs. And he gets picked up and planted after a 3-yard gain. A flag is down. Manning and Smith team up on the tackle. Only one penalty on Ole Miss so far in the game, 4 on Mississippi State.
This might be hands to the face.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Defense number 23. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
It's on Travion Williams. That's penalty number 5 now for almost 60 yards on the Bulldogs.
Travion Williams going to get his hand up in the, right here. You can see on the left side of your screen. He's going to get his hands in Jaden Williams' face mask.
Easy call.
And he kept it there, and he got full extension. And if you celebrate penalties like Lane Kiffin, full swing on that 15-yard penalty.
Mississippi State with turnovers and penalties, not helping itself, trying to pull the upset. Been 5 years since they've beaten the top 10 team. Between the tackles run for Diggs. Down to the 28, so just 2 yards there. Last week, Ahmad Hardy of Missouri had 300 yards, the most in the FBS this season. And again, just 120 rushing yards for Ole Miss as a team. But Chambliss has been so good, even in second and third down and long, throwing the ball. He's passed for 212 and 2 touchdowns. Lacey back in as they go from the pistol here on 2nd and 8. Lacey hit hard again, and that's Zachary Tillman, who's delivered the wood a few times. But he's shaken up. You had Malik Silla in there too.
Well, Tillman, you mentioned it multiple times today, just bringing the hat. 235-pound linebacker. Big hit, but still down on the field.
Wonder if Silla fell on his leg that time. Friendly fire from a teammate, or if that was just on the hit that Tillman delivered. You played in obviously the Oklahoma-Texas rivalry, Oklahoma-Oklahoma State rivalry. Feels like the pads pop louder in these games.
Oh, absolutely they do. The physicality is cranked up. The intensity is cranked up. I mean, this is bragging rights, brother. I mean, this is in-state. You're playing for a trophy. You're playing for that egg. Everything else that's at stake, there's no doubt. And let's not kid ourselves. There's no love lost between these two programs. As Jeff Levy told us yesterday, this rivalry is all about hate. That's bringing some serious collisions on the field here today.
He said Ole Miss looks down upon us, and he coached at Ole Miss for Lane Kiffin when he got the job. The Ole Miss coach has said Mississippi State, they can't stand us. 3rd down and 6. Chambliss throws high and incomplete off the fingertips of Wallace. It's 4th down, and here comes the field goal team.
Boy, just the drop here by Trey Wallace. This is a well-designed play by Charlie Weiss. Gets exactly what he wants. Isaac Smith turned around and off the fingertips of Trey Wallace. And the frustration there from Chambliss, knowing they just missed a golden opportunity to get one step closer to that golden end.
Now, Lucas Carnero missed a 37-yard field goal, just his 3rd miss of the season. First inside 40 this year. This will be outside the 40. 43-yard attempt officially. And it's hugging the right upright, but it hooks at the end, and it's good. So it's 24-13, Ole Miss.
Kiffin's decision regarding his future, you have to consider the journey from the Raiders to the University of Tennessee, Southern California, on and on, all the way here to Ole Miss and all the drama that came with it. But you really have to consider the last 4 years, starting with the 2021 Outback Bowl. He told me after that victory, he looked at the pictures and he said, man, I was so fat, I looked like one of those anaconda snakes that had the food lodged in its throat. That brought about change. What started with no red meat and no sugar turned into sobriety. And with that for him came tremendous fulfillment and emotional clarity. He told me, I'm so grateful I made those changes so that my father, Monty, an icon in this game, could see the very best version of his son before he passed, Dave.
Yeah, that was about a year ago that the great Monty Kiffin passed away. It'll be a touchback after Gayton secures it inside the 5. 3 straight 10-plus win seasons. First time that's ever happened at Ole Miss. And Marty talked about how he improved himself. His image has been greatly improved. And if he were to leave and ends up not coaching this team, should they make the college football playoff, he would be the subject of a lot of criticism, of course, and might do damage to that image that he worked so hard to improve.
Yeah, but to Marty's point and what you were saying, just mentally, physically, he's in such a good place in his life. He's proud of where he's at, and well, he's doing a great job here with this program.
Taylor in trouble and dragged down for a sack back at the 22-yard line. That was Deshaun Womack, his second sack of the year.
Deshaun Womack coming off the edge on the outside. Haven't seen a ton of pressure here throughout the course of the day. The walls just come caving in on Camario Taylor.
Taylor with room and out to the 29. Just to finish up on what we were talking about there with regard to the image of Lane Kiffin. We're talking with Kiffin this week. He told us he is not sure yet what he's going to do. We spoke with the athletic director, Keith Carter, before the game. He told us he believes Kiffin is going to stay at Ole Miss and said that Kiffin will let him know tonight or tomorrow whether he's staying here or going elsewhere. And there will be a discussion about if he goes elsewhere, whether he can coach in the playoff. Great move by Taylor to get a first down. Although the athletic director told us that he did not feel like ultimately that Kiffin would end up coaching in the college football playoff, but it's possible Kiffin could take his staff with him, which would make things interesting. Let's check in with Taylor for more.
Kiffin, before the game, told me today, it's one of those things that's interesting. You find peace, you find happiness, and then you're forced with this decision again, and he's in the midst of it right now.
And the ball comes out, but on the ground is Bothwell, and he lost it trying to pick it up. He got it back, though, at the 30-yard line. It was Womack that stripped it. It's going to end up being a loss of 7.
But Bothwell is very fortunate. When the ball is on the ground, you got to get on top and secure the football. He kind of just nonchalantly went to gather and pick this up, and he is very fortunate that he's able to get this ball back. Comes back on top of him. Wait, disaster averted there in that situation. And Taylor, to your point, you know, wise man once told me, don't mess with happy. Lane Kiffin sure seems very happy where he's at right now. Where will he be come tomorrow? Everybody can't wait to find out.
Toward the sideline, the catch is made. And stepping out of bounds is Boot. Go ahead and finish your story, Taylor, because I know you were going to touch on what happened 3 years ago with Lane.
Well, it's been business as usual for Lane Kiffin. The hot yoga started a couple years ago, and this morning, 6 a.m., bright and early with family, he continued that. And so it's one of those things where he feels like he's in a good spot, but also there's the allure of other programs. So it'll be interesting what unfolds tomorrow, Dave.
Well, you mentioned earlier about what happened one time. That was in 2022. He was flirting with Auburn, kind of in the same situation. Ended up staying, though, obviously, here at Ole Miss. Taylor on the move. Got to get rid of the ball here and throw it away, and he does. Getting outside the pocket. And that was 3rd down and 10, though, so now it's 4th down, and they will have to punt it, trailing by 11 late in the 3rd.
Big stop there for that Ole Miss defense. Camario Taylor just running out of real estate, moving to his right. Nobody comes open down the field. And their defense going to have to answer the bell and find a way to come up with a stop.
Wallace is deep. And a line drive by Pulliam. Wallace with the fair catch around the 22-yard line. You're watching Fairfield by Marriott Rivalry Week.
Hey, Coach. Great W technique.
It's a process to win, and winning is a process.
And one coat for the win.
That's how I roll.
Good one, Coach.
Get one coat hide in over 1,000 colors with Behr Marquee, only at the Home Depot.
No weak spots in my coverage.
And now for a weather update. The polar vortex is bringing a lot of snow. Good news for a white Christmas. Just be safe getting home. This storm will be here through the night, as will I.
The greatest measure of the season is how it makes you feel. The December to Remember sales event. Get offers on select models.
I'm sorry about the billboards, Danny. I promise I'm not trying to take your job.
Well, personally, I prefer those billboards.
Did anyone ever tell you you're a tad bit vindictive?
All the time.
Make Jersey Mike's a game day thing.
A sub above.
$4.99 per month for a year. Disney Plus and Hulu Black Friday deal.
Want to talk football with a friend? Just tell Siri. Call Jesse on speakerphone.
I'm not sure Jesse would answer. He's about to call the Georgia Tech game up next year at ABC. Kirby Smart and company ranked fourth, trying to make the college football playoff.
And I think Georgia's hitting their stride right now. We saw them in Starkville a couple weeks back. Then they really beat up on Texas. Georgia Tech, we were there last Saturday. When they missed a great opportunity, it feels like Georgia might be in for a big performance today.
Shot play on first down. Through the hands again of Wallace, unable to secure it. Diego Brumfield in coverage. They continue to test those corners. It was there, but Wallace could not pull it in.
And they continue to win, and Trey Wallace wins again outside. He does the hard work, just unable to bring it in. Back-to-back possessions he wishes he could have back. That's now 3 plays he's had in his hands, but
there's a penalty flag down. We didn't see the flag drop. We have not heard an announcement. Now again, there was no announcement made by the referee, but a penalty on Mississippi State. First down and 10 on the Ole Miss 33. Lacey out past the 45 to the 47. There's another flag. We're being told that the last play was defensive holding on Brumfield, who was covering Wallace. Let's see what this flag's about. Only one penalty on Ole Miss so far.
Offense, number 8. 2-yard penalty. First down.
That's on the tight end, Daquan Wright. Well, it feels like, and maybe that's why Ole Miss went for the kill shot, that if they're able to get in the end zone on this drive, they can be very much in command of this football game, with Mississippi State's struggles so far to get into the end zone.
Try to push it to a 3-score game. It would definitely feel like be quite a bit of distance between these two teams. It has been a real struggle today for these defensive backs to keep up with these wide receivers of Ole Miss. Countless penalties we've seen called here on these Mississippi State defensive backs.
6 penalties in all on Mississippi State. Chambliss bottled up. That was a nice play by Calvin Dinkins in the hole to make the hit after a gain of about 4.
But it's Jamil Burroughs who's going to make this play. Watch the big man just get vertical and disrupt everything that's going on inside. Good job just holding the point by Deakins. It's good defense all the way around by Mississippi State.
Second down and long. Chambliss. Lee makes the grab at about the 38, so they get 10 of it back. It'll be third down and about a handful here.
Just an easy access throw off coverage and a good find there by Chambliss. This trips package up top. Watch him try to create something coming out of that. Or an easy throw for Trinidad Chambliss.
They're 1 for their last 7 on third down after starting 2 for 2. Chambliss pass in traffic is caught for a first down by Stribling. That was a dart thrown by Trinidad Chambliss.
And it's out of that trips bunch, the top receiver. Watch him just work up to space. And you mentioned it. This ball comes out quick and comes out clean with tight coverage around Stribling.
Chambliss back to the air, off play action, in trouble, and he's able to find another receiver after eluding the sack. It's Caden Lee, gain of about 8. Chambliss, the Ferris State transfer, Division II school, which he helped win a national championship last year. He was the backup at the start of the year. Austin Simmons was the heir apparent to Jackson Dart. Simmons gets hurt week 2. Chambliss starts week 3 against Arkansas. And he and this team have not looked back. The only loss against Georgia, and they were up by 9 in the fourth quarter of that game. First down carry. Kewan Lacey inside the 35.
Kewan Lacey is just so quick, and when he gets in the hole, that ability to jump, cut, and make people miss, second to none. Nice piece of running there to pick up that first down.
Over 100 yards on the day, 6th in the country. 1,240 yards on the season. Leads the nation with 20 rushing touchdowns, including 1 today. That is a school record at Ole Miss. And like Chambliss, a transfer. He was at Missouri, Lacey was, and carried the ball just 23 times last year. Leads the SEC in carries this year. Here's another one. He's hovering around 250 attempts on the season, and he gets 5 yards.
Like so many of these weapons, Dave, on this Ole Miss team are transfers. Stribling a transfer. Harrison Wallace a transfer. Deuce Alexander. It's kind of been the method to a lot of the success we've seen for Lane Kiffin, replenishing pieces via the transfer portal.
They don't have to snap it here. And they will not. That's the end of the third quarter. 24-13. This presentation of the SEC on ABC will continue after these messages and a word from our ABC stations.
Lead going into the fourth quarter. How do you close this out?
Well, we're right there. We just keep missing little things. We had the third down with the guy open and just missed him. So we got to pop this thing open here and hit a touchdown here and get us to 3-score games and stop letting them hang around.
Thank you, Coach. Dave?
And that does feel, Taylor, like that would do it. If they can get into the end zone, make it 31-13, a lot to overcome for Mississippi State, in part because they really haven't been able to stop Ole Miss. Giving up almost 400 yards of total offense yet again.
One-on-one up top.
Instead, Chambliss goes the other way, and the catch is made by Lee. And it's a first down. If Ole Miss wins, likely in the college football playoff for the first time, they would still need help to make it to the SEC title game. Mississippi State looking to get bowl eligible for the first time since 2022. A&M and Alabama would both have to lose if Ole Miss wins for Ole Miss to get into the SEC title game for the first time. No running room that time for Lacey.
Also would be the first ever 11-win regular season in Ole Miss football history. Really just an unbelievable run we've seen here under Lane Kiffin. 3 straight 10-win seasons. Never happened in the history of the program. 4 out of 5 10-win seasons. The only other 11-win season was in 23 under Lane Kiffin. And now they're trying to make it 11 wins. And the regular season just really illustrates the job that he's done at Oxford with this program.
And try to win their 3rd straight in Starkville for the first time since the 1960s. Backing up is Chambliss, and his pass off target intended for Lee, but he had to rush that throw as he had some pressure from Bingley Jones at his 3rd down and 10.
They needed that pressure. There hasn't been a ton of pressure on Chambliss today, but Bingley Jones able to come off the edge, and that time Chambliss off his back foot. Pass sails wide.
Biggest play of the game for the Mississippi State defense. Trying to hold Ole Miss to a field goal. Chambliss to the end zone. Stribling makes the catch. His 2nd touchdown.
I mean, this pass is well placed, but the catch, the concentration and the adjustment by Stribling, contorts the body, high points it, and that foot is inbounds with complete control. And the 2nd touchdown reception here for Dejon Stribling. But an outstanding job in man-to-man coverage, working on Brumfeld. And it's Trinidad Chambliss with his 3rd touchdown pass of the day.
And that was on 3rd down and 10. Well, the Ole Miss coaching staff knew it in training camp that if something happened to Austin Simmons, as the extra point is good, they felt very comfortable that Chambliss would be very good. What they didn't know is how he would handle playing in big games in big moments after playing at a smaller school and now in the SEC. He has handled the road beautifully, doing it again here in Starkville with 3 touchdown passes.
A Chewy order is on the way for Junior, who's more of a senior these days. Every holiday, Dad relies on Chewy for the gifts Junior has loved all his life.
You're looking great. Come on. Okay, buddy. Strong boy. That's a strong boy.
And gets them delivered faster than the years go by. For holidays with pets, there's Chewy.
So I got this friend who said he used to be on T-Mobile, but their network kind of sucked. His words. A lot of things used to suck, like cell phones the size of frozen lasagnas. But things change. Now T-Mobile has the best network, by like a lot. But I'm just another guy in an ad saying the same thing, only first and true. Check out T-Mobile and experience what it means to have America's best network. Hey dude, you won't believe where I am.
You okay, big guy?
I'm good. You're kind of sweaty.
SEC title game and then lose. That may change things. With a loss today, it drops to 42%. Likely in and possibly hosting a game in Oxford in the first round.
I think they're in and they will host the game. I think it's more than just possibly. I mean, they'd be sitting there at number 7 in with an 11-1 record. I don't see them dropping all the way to number 9.
What if they get to the SEC championship game and lose?
I don't know if I see them dropping all the way to number 9.
What if their coach is gone? Does that impact the committee? Should there be a second loss or a first loss in terms of home hosting or not hosting a playoff
game? As we heard from Hunter Yurchek the other night, they don't have a data point with that. So essentially, if they saw an SEC championship game and they look like a completely different Ole Miss team, they could potentially hold that against them. But what if they played well? I mean, look, Lane Kiffin's great. He didn't call the plays. Charlie Weiss Jr. calls the plays. Defensively, Pete Golding calls the plays. So still a lot left to transpire, but I'd be confident if Ole Miss wins this game, I think they're hosting a playoff game.
Taylor dumping it off across the middle. Traore brought down after he got the first down. Mississippi State down 18. They need 3 possessions early here in the fourth quarter. It was 21-10 Ole Miss at halftime. In trouble. Down he goes back at the 30-yard line. It's Will Eccles on the takedown of Taylor.
Well, it's going to be a game, and Will Eccles has been so good all year. Watch him inside. He's going to loop all the way around, and he's going to get home. 310 pounds, but watch him move. Tight corner, he's going to bend. Taylor late to feel that pressure, and a nice job getting the legs and getting the sack.
After the 3-yard loss, throw to the sideline, Aiden Williams, who is a former Ole Miss Rebel. First time that he's touched the football today, had just 7 catches in 2 years in Oxford. Third down coming up, 4-down territory now for Mississippi State this stage of the game. Might they look at this to see if Williams was in bounds on the sideline?
The previous play is under further review.
If it is upheld, it's 3rd down and 6 for Mississippi State. Mario Taylor's thrown for 136 yards, an interception that was deflected. He's also rushed for 99 yards. You see the right foot on the sideline, the left foot inbounds. Looked like the left foot hit first before the right foot went out of bounds. But did he have the ball at that point?
It is so close and very tough to see from that angle where that entirety of that right cleat is.
And again, if that left foot touches first and he's got possession, then the right foot doesn't matter at that point.
But that, I think it's going to, I mean, I don't see anything that's going to overturn this call.
Okay. Let's bring in Matt Austin. Matt, how do you see this?
Dave, I think you guys covered it exactly right. I don't see anything to overturn, nothing certainly that is clear and obvious, so I think this will be upheld.
And on the field, it's upheld. A completed pass, and 2nd down.
Thank you, Matt. And so And we'll make it 3rd down and 6.
And we're clearly in 4-down territory, even though you're on your side of the field. Down 3 scores here in the 4th quarter. Mississippi State has to score on this possession.
Team that beat Arizona State earlier in the year. Beat Arkansas for its first SEC win under Jeff Levy. Trying to keep momentum going in a positive direction. And the first career start for Camario Taylor at quarterback. And with hard running, he gets a 1st down to midfield. Gain of 10 on the play.
Nice job there by Taylor. Didn't like what he saw down the field. Gets downhill and gets a much needed 1st down.
12-minute mark, down 18. Over 100 rushing yards now for Taylor. Looking deep, got a receiver. Knocked away. What a play by Wydett Williams. Brennan Thompson could not make the catch. Williams got a hand in there at the last second.
Well, he has excellent closing speed. Watch the speed here of Brennan Thompson. He runs past Wydett Williams, and you see that closing speed. He gets that left hand in at the last moment and gets that pass breakup. You can't time it any better than that. That is extremely well done by Williams.
And now it's 2nd down and 10. Pressure off the edge. Taylor checks it down. Traore got a 1st down. But again, the clock had Brennan Thompson been able to make that catch before Williams knocked it away. They'd be on the scoreboard. Clock would be stopped. They'd be kicking off. So even if they get in the end zone here, the time is ticking away. Needing 2 more possessions at least after this. Booth, nowhere to go. Dropped in the backfield. The first man there was Womack.
This defensive line starting to make some plays. Womack is going to loop inside, going to get up. You'll see Womack come from that defensive end position and get the initial contact for the tackle for loss.
Cleaned up by Chambers. Taylor steps up and hoists it downfield, incomplete. And Evans may have stopped running that time. Gushikin had a better chance to catch it, but Taylor maybe assumed he was going to go to the corner.
Well, he wanted to go to Brennan Thompson. He wanted to hit that backside post, but it was well covered. So then he just continued to float and drift to his right and try to locate Anthony Evans. But it's well defended there by Ole Miss in the back end.
Are you in definite 4-down territory, meaning here if you don't get this, you could kick a field goal, make it a 2-possession game?
You need to just cut it to a 2-possession game here on this drive.
Ole Miss comes after him, and Taylor can't take a sack and doesn't. He's able to get away, and he's able to do more than get away. It's inside the 10 and all the way for a touchdown. The ball came out, but that was after he crossed the goal line. What a run by Camario Taylor. You can see why Jeff Levy made the change.
Wow. That is a playmaker. Incredible individual effort by Camario Taylor as Mississippi State will go for 2 here.
I mean, he could have been sacked a couple times, and then it's one thing to get back to the line of scrimmage and get positive yard. It's another to take it to the house from 35 yards out as we go for Dose, brought to you by Dos Equis.
And you've got to get to it some point. So Jeff Levy electing, let's go ahead and get it now to try to cut this thing to a 10-point score.
And the officials waiting here because they want to make sure that he crossed the goal line before the ball came out. And so they will not need to review it any further. He definitely was in the end zone. Empty set here for the quarterback, Camario Taylor, going for 2. They fake the jet sweep. Taylor outside the pocket, spins away, throws back in the end zone, incomplete. Wydett Williams had the pressure, so Mississippi State still will need 2 touchdowns. with it being a 12-point difference.
Well, this was remarkable by Taylor. Watch the pressure. TJ Daugherty's going to come up, and then he's going to spin inside. You've also got Perkins, who's going to wrap. Kamario Taylor's got nowhere to go. The blitz cuts home. It gets clean. It's exactly what they wanted. But Kamario Taylor makes multiple defenders miss, puts his foot in the ground, gets in the end zone, and gets the Bulldogs on the board.
NC State down 12, kicking it deep. Isaiah Hartrup will bring it out for Ole Miss. He is tripped up and stumbles at about the 29, and there's a penalty flag thrown at the 15-yard line. Plenty of time for Mississippi State, down 12 after the Kamario Taylor 35-yard run for a score.
Holding. Return team number 12. 10-yard penalty. First down.
So that's on Damian Taylor. It started early for Ole Miss with Kewan Lacey, a 32-yard rushing touchdown. Kamario Taylor scored the first of 2 touchdowns for him to tie it. But then how about Trinidad Chambliss?
Boy, he was excellent. And him and dribbling, 2 connections in the end zone. Sometimes put it up and let your playmakers go make a play. And how about that individual effort we just saw from Kamario Taylor to get Mississippi State back in this game here in the 4th quarter.
Ole Miss try to run clock, and Lacey only gets a couple. Isaac Smith, whose dad Reggie played in this rivalry when he was at Ole Miss. Smith back after missing their last game against Missouri, made the hit.
Just been so impressed with him today. He's playing hurt. He hadn't been 100%. He's had to miss action this year. He was the 2nd-team All-SEC member last year, but wanted to be on this field. Boy, he has left it all out here for his defense.
Play action. Chambliss throwing it downfield, and it's caught, and breaking away is Deuce Alexander. He's going to outrun 2 men. Touchdown, Ole Miss. 88 yards. And that might be the dagger.
Well, Kewan Lacey in this run game, watch what it's going to do with these safeties, and you got no help over the top. And Deuce Alexander, another weapon. Watch these safeties. Watch both of these guys come downhill, and you're just going to have one-on-one on the outside. The play action and the threat of Kewan Lacey pulls up those safeties. No one's over the top for help. And a nice grab by Deuce Alexander, and he's got outstanding speed as he takes it to the house.
And Ole Miss over 500 yards of total offense. The defensive issues for Mississippi State continue. 4 touchdown passes for Chambliss, 359 yards through the air for him.
The thing that jumped off the page at me coming into this game was the ball distribution by Trinidad Chambliss. The volume of wide receivers, include Daquan Wright in that, include Caleb Odom in that. Just the pass catchers that Ole Miss utilizes, as you see Alexander time that jump perfectly, and boy, crosses the finish line looking like a track star with that speed. But it's dribbling, it's Trey Wallace, it's Deuce Alexander, it's Caden Lee. They got so many different guys, and it's almost like Trinidad Chambliss, the perfect point guard. It's like, oh, you want to take him away? Okay, I'm going to go here. He's going to find the open man. He's going to find the matchup that he likes, and he has got more than capable players all over the field that if he can distribute the football to them, they can make you pay.
The coaching staff for Ole Miss compared Trinidad Chambliss to Baker Mayfield. They said in training camp, we just saw him as a gamer. He made things happen. And it didn't matter who he was throwing to. And that is the case certainly here today with Ole Miss up 19. Take a look at our Nissan Heisman watch. Dusty made the point earlier. If Chambliss starts the season, plays 2 more games, he might be in this company right now with Mendoza, Saying Love, and Pavia.
I think he would be. I really do. I think that those first 2 games cost him statistically. But obviously these guys are great. Julian saying, how about that matchup with Michigan tomorrow? Can they stop the streak? They've lost 4 straight, would be a huge spot for Julian saying Fernando Mendoza's been great. You called it. Jeremiah Love was it back week number 4, I think. When we saw him against Arkansas, he's been sensational. And Diego Pavia, they got Tennessee tomorrow, man. He has been so much fun to watch. And what he's done for that Vanderbilt program, they win at Neyland tomorrow, 10 wins. 10 wins for Vanderbilt. It's pretty remarkable.
And there's still a chance for Vanderbilt to get into the college football playoff. Like Notre Dame plays Stanford, you would think Notre Dame would win. They've been playing with 2 losses since week 4.
Since week 2.
Well, good point. They're 0-2. And that pass off target. Was it a backwards pass? They're still going. So, yeah, it was. But Bothwell scooped it up and ended up getting a few yards out of it. Going to bring up 3rd down. Obvious 4-down territory here for Mississippi State with 9 minutes to go.
One more look at this. Ooh, close. Ruling that a backwards pass.
Well, it's 3rd down and 5. Taylor doesn't want to check it down. Trying to find a running lane. Bounces again off players and just takes off. Taylor runs for the sideline out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. Now, he is fun to watch with the ball in his hands. The future is bright on offense for Mississippi State with him.
They've got to get the defense fixed, though. And that's going to be something going into the offseason that Jeff Lebby's going to have to look at and have to figure out. Now 8 straight games in SEC play that this defense has given up over 400 yards, and it's now up over 500 against Ole Miss.
Taylor has a completion to Thompson. He's short of the line to gain.
But to your point, yes, Kamario Taylor, and you knew it. I mean, even when we were here a few weeks ago, they told us this is the future, and the future is now. And you can see it's the running, it's the arm, it's everything that Kamario Taylor brings to the table in the buy-in. He's put in a lot of work to understand and learn this offense and get himself ready to play.
Pass is high there from Taylor. Booth was the intended target. Now it's 3rd down. Clock stop with 7:46 to go. We were talking about Notre Dame. If they were to stumble, there are other teams that could stumble, and then an SEC team maybe gets 5 in. SEC conference gets a 5th team in, I should say.
Well, look, there's a lot. There's so much left to be determined. Okay, I mean, you've got the Iron Bowl that's going to be huge. You've got Oregon, Washington that's going to be huge. You've got Miami, Pitt that's going to be huge. All those teams ranked ahead of where Vanderbilt is that are on the road in games that are going to be extremely competitive. It's what makes for such a great weekend of college football this weekend.
Taylor, deep ball, underthrown, and incomplete. Thompson shaken up down at the 10-yard line. He's okay. He wants to stay in the game. They're trying to get him out. He wants to stay on the field. It's 4th down.
A lot of error underneath that football as Brennan Thompson tries to bring that in. Anthony Evans going to come over the top. Looks like he might take a knee as he's going to the ground from his teammate. A little friendly fire there from Anthony Evans, but Brennan Thompson back to his feet as he's walking off to the sidelines.
This is it for Mississippi State. A must-have here. 4th and 1 on its 48, down 19 to its rival. Trying to keep hopes alive of going to a bowl game. Taylor will keep it himself, and he's tackled short. It's going to be a turnover on downs. Andrew Jones and Prince Will Uman-Mielen on the stop.
Well, TJ Daugherty's going to come over the top, and he's going to make this play. Watch him just work right over and make this tackle. Joined by Andrew Jones, 44. It's a good read, and it's a big stop for Ole Miss as they're in complete control of this Egg Bowl.
Away from a likely college football playoff berth earned with a win 99.9% according to the All-State playoff predictor. They have a 38-19 lead over Mississippi State and will likely look to take some time off the clock here. Still a chance to make the SEC championship game. They would need Texas A&M to lose to Texas tonight on ABC and Alabama to lose to Auburn tomorrow on ABC. Gain here of about 3 yards for Kewan Lacey.
What an incredible season. This is a team that lost 8 draft picks from last year. Lost the first-round quarterback. Lost 5 draft picks off their defense. Had to retool and reshape a lot of things. Very few starters, returning 4 starters back on this football team. And this was potentially a year that Ole Miss would take a step back. And all they're going to do with this Egg Bowl victory is put together the greatest regular season in the history of the program. It's quite remarkable. And obviously, I know it said 99.9, but boy, it sure feels like a certain thing that they are going to punch their ticket with this win for a college football playoff spot.
First down for Lacey. Gain of 12. Now Lane Kiffin arriving this morning. Joined our conversation with athletic director Keith Carter when we were just chatting about Lane's future. And Kiffin and Trinidad Chambliss have had a great partnership throughout the year. Chambliss with 4 touchdown passes. So let's live in the speculative for just a moment because it's a real conversation. Yeah. We had it with Keith Carter, the AD.
Yes.
If Lane Kiffin tells Carter tonight or tomorrow morning, and that's essentially the deadline, I'm leaving. I am taking another head coaching job. The speculation is LSU. And you're Keith Carter.
Yes.
Do you let him coach in the SEC championship game possibly, and if not, the college football play?
So I'm going to answer this 2 different ways. If it was me, yes, I'm letting him coach. If that's what he wants to do and that's going to jive, because I'm thinking about this team. I'm thinking about these players. I'm thinking about the chance for this group to do something special. And if that's what all parties want to do, then yes, that's what I would do. I get that it's different. If this is someone within your conference, which we think it is, a rival, as Keith Carter mentioned, that it most likely is, that changes the dynamic. That makes it difficult. But what do I think Keith Carter will do? Based off our conversation with him, I don't think he's going to have Lane Kiffin continue to coach the team. So I think those are 2 different situations based off what I would do and what I expect will happen.
And as you said, he did bring up
first charge time of the
if he's coaching for a rival.
Correct.
That is a rivalry. He did mention it is on the table for discussion, but it did not seem like that's the likely outcome. But again, he told us he believes Lane Kiffin is going to tell him tonight or tomorrow morning, I'm staying at Ole Miss.
Yeah, that's the big point, is that from where he's standing, he thinks that they're going to keep him. He thinks that Lane Kiffin's going to give him the word that he's coming back. So a lot of this conversation is much ado about nothing. But this is the conversation that everyone is having. This is the biggest conversation and biggest topic around college football. So I think it is proper that we have the conversation. I'm also going to say this, and I know what Hunter Yurachek said the other night. I think it would be a travesty if this team is punished because their head coach takes another job. I do not think this team should be punished if Lane Kiffin is not coaching them. They don't make the SEC title game, and they're in the college football playoff. This team has earned the right to host a playoff game in Oxford, Mississippi. They should not be punished for their head coach not being there, and we have no indication based off what Hunter Yurachek said that would happen. But I'm just...
Lacey hurdling Brumfield that time.
Because that's where I come from in a lot of this as a former player, and putting myself in the position of these players.
Well, that's what I thought as we watched the hurdle here of Brumfield. That's what I thought was interesting. Maybe as interesting as anything. And you asked Keith Carter about this. He said our #1 concern is the players. Right. But aren't you, if you don't allow Kiffin to continue to coach the team in the postseason, if Kiffin leaves, aren't you punishing the players?
It would feel that way to me if I was a player. But again, this is a dicey situation. And one aspect we have not talked about, I thought it was very well done last weekend on College Game Day. And I thought what Nick Saban said when we talk about the calendar of college football, like, let's be honest, the fact that next week on Wednesday is National Signing Day is ridiculous. On the week of conference championship games and before our playoff, we're going to have National Signing Day. And then whether the portal's open or not, the portal's open. I mean, there is deals going on and offers being made all across college football right now. The reality is, and we talked to Lane Kiffin about it this week, we've heard Nick Saban talk about it, college football has got to get more on an NFL-type calendar so that we can prevent coaches from being in these situations and everything that's going on. I'm not trying to absolve, Lane Kiffin or anybody else, or people want to be upset, but the calendar does currently not make sense, and the quicker we can get to a calendar that makes more sense, the better.
This is potentially the last time we will see Ole Miss before the college football playoff. Based on the 12 games you've watched, are they good enough to win a national championship, or does that depend on if that man is still in Oxford?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's clearly a big variable. Yeah, I mean, look, Lane Kiffin there's a reason he's being so sought after. I mean, he's an excellent head coach. But I mean, look at this team. I mean, hey, listen. This Ole Miss football team went into Athens, Georgia, a team that I think can definitely win a national championship, and gave them all they wanted for the first 3 quarters. They scored 5 touchdowns in the first 5 possessions. And give Georgia credit for coming back. They went into Norman, Oklahoma, and put up more points on that Oklahoma defense than anybody else has this season. Trinidad Chambliss is, I mean, you put him up there with any quarterback in the country, and it's a defense that's gotten better and better. So, hey, man, that's what's great about this playoff. You never know exactly who can and who can't, but yeah, I look forward to seeing them try to make a run.
All right, let's bring in Marty Smith, who's kind of on lane watch for the next couple days. Your thoughts, Marty?
Well, I'm standing here, Dave, looking at Keith Carter and the jubilation here on the Ole Miss sideline. And I can't help but think about why Lane Kiffin would leave. You have to look at all the variables, right? He's told me that Oxford, that Ole Miss will match any monetary offer. It looks like we might have a touchdown here, boys.
But there's a flag down in the area of holding. Go ahead and continue your point. It's going to be holding at Ole Miss. Go ahead, Marty.
So if Ole Miss is willing to match any monetary offer, all right, remove money, does Lane Kiffin believe he can win a national championship somewhere else and that he cannot at Ole Miss? To me, that would be the only variable at this point that he would be weighing that would make him leave. Because let's go back to the fact that he's found himself in Oxford, Mississippi. Let's go back to the fact that he believes he's the best version of himself, and he learned who that person was throughout his journey in Oxford, Mississippi. Yes, LSU is a fantastic place, top 3 job in the country, but there is no monetary value for fulfillment and peace, in my estimation.
Got another timeout here. Well, we'll find out. And you have to wonder again, we were told from Keith Carter there's been no ultimatum, but clearly it is a decision that is more by the administration than it is by Lane Kiffin in terms of the timing, being tonight or tomorrow morning. You wonder if that pushes Lane Kiffin in another direction. Also, the chance of bringing staff members. I mean, that's the thing here is it's one thing, it's ridiculous enough to think about the possibility of a head coach not being there to coach his team in the college football playoff. But you've got staff members, if he does leave, he's going to want to take with that may be on the same timeline as him, meaning he wants them to go to work now if he can't be here to coach the team.
And again, then all I think about is the players. And I just think, again, this could all be much ado about nothing. We may find out, Marty Smith may be with Lane tonight on Lane Watch, and we may find out tonight that he's staying right there in Oxford. But if what you just spelled out transpires, I just think about this team and these players and how unfortunate that would be for them.
It would be nice. Hopefully next year we're not having these conversations because, to your point, Dusty, the calendar's been changed and we won't need to have these conversations at the end of the regular season as Alexander takes the jet sweep down to the 12-yard line. Mississippi State's going to call a timeout. Georgia Tech is up next. Texas A&M tonight. I want to ask you about that game because A&M is unbeaten. They're currently number 3 in the college football playoff rankings. Arch Manning playing his best ball of the year right now, maybe. Texas have a chance in that one in Austin.
Of course they have a chance in that game. It's going to be a fabulous game there tonight. Sean McDonough, Greg McElroy going to be on the call. And Arch Manning, it's fascinating. He's got 31 total touchdowns accounted for. He has really picked it up. Better accuracy, just doing a better job overall running that offense. But they don't have a great running game. And I look at that A&M offense. I think they're more complete. I look at their offensive line, their ability to run it. Marcel Reed, so dynamic as a runner. And Casey Concepcion, Mario Craver, I think they're going to really stress that Texas defense. And maybe the key for this in me is Cassius Howell in that third down pass rush, one of the best in the country. I think they may give Arch Manning and that offensive line some fits on crucial situations. But that's going to be a fabulous game, and so grateful that rivalry is back being played every year now.
4th down and 5. And just think, they were down 30-3 at halftime just a couple weeks ago against South Carolina. At the biggest comeback in school history to stay undefeated. They win and Alabama wins tomorrow in the Iron Bowl on ABC, and those two teams will be in the SEC championship game. And the Ole Miss fans start to celebrate. Chambliss was getting them fired up, telling them to stand up here on the road in Starkville. And coming up next on ABC, can Haynes King and Georgia Tech bounce back? Lost 2 of their last 3 games. They faced Georgia in a game that went to 8 overtimes last year.
I'm intrigued to see how he bounces back. He struggled last week with a chance to clinch an ACC championship game spot. Now he's got a chance to finish with a 10-win regular season and beat that in-state rival Georgia.
Look at that potential first-round game right now, according to the bracket in Norman between Notre Dame and Oklahoma. Oklahoma plays LSU on ABC tomorrow at 3:30. A chance for your Sooners to clinch a spot in the college football playoff.
Big one against LSU tomorrow. That's 3:30 on ABC. What a year for Brent Venables. That defense has been nothing short of outstanding all season.
Chambliss on 4th and 5, rolling out here. And throwing incomplete. A turnover on downs with 2:50 to go. One other game tomorrow that is of great significance, and College Game Day will be there in Ann Arbor, is if Michigan can continue to do what they've done since Ryan Day took over Ohio State. But look, Ryan Day got the last laugh. They won the national championship. But if Michigan beats Ohio State, that could shake things up for the committee.
Going for a 5th straight season. I don't think they will. I like Ohio State in the game. That defense against Bryce Underwood, a freshman quarterback, I think will be too much. But if that's not the case and Michigan wins, there's a scenario where Michigan can find its way to the Big Ten championship game, and at the very least in the conversation for one of those at-large playoff spots. Just what a weekend of college football, man. This is incredible.
Taylor's pass is caught by Thompson. First down.
You don't strike me as a leftovers kind of guy. To me, Pash is only eating something fresh, but there's plenty of college football fans that like leftovers and Thanksgiving leftovers, sitting back, just stuffing your face, eating that, watching college football weekend. What's better than that, Dave Pash?
Taylor throwing it out of bounds. Incomplete.
Do you eat leftovers?
I do, but I'm on the road right now, so
just
I'm eating whatever's open tonight.
You've never taken food to go when we go eat dinner together.
Well, that's because you're eating it all. There aren't any leftovers.
That's a fair point.
Now for Jeff Lebby, how do you view this season? It was certainly better than last year. 3 more wins than a year ago.
It got off to such a great start. 4-0. They get that top 15 victory over Arizona State, and man, just you're feeling really good. And they were so close in so many games, right? You think about the Tennessee game, you think about the Florida game, you think about the Texas game. Unfortunately, all result in losses. They did break through, get that first SEC victory. There was a big step in the right direction this year, and I fully expect they can get that defense right, get Kamario Taylor back, and see his evolution, his progression. I think there's reason to believe there will be an even bigger step in year number 3 next season.
Taylor taking off again. Ton of green in front of him and slides to midfield.
You've been around him here quite a bit the last couple years. I just believe in Jeff Lebby. I think he's a great coach. I think players love to play for him. He can recruit. His offense is tried and true everywhere he's been, but it is about results and it's about winning games. And obviously next year, they'll expect to see that big jump in the right direction.
Ole Miss 2 wins away from a win and a likely college football playoff spot. You're watching the SEC on ABC.
For my dreams. But Shopify made it easy to get this brand going. Now we can take golf to a realm that we've never seen before. We're Eastside Golf, and we're powered by Shopify.
Black Friday savings are at the Home Depot, the best place for tools. Tools to take your doing anywhere, job after job, weekend after weekend.
Get a free tool with select battery kits.
Stock your workshop with top brand tools this Black Friday.
When your team wins, you feel like a winner. But when your team wins and you get your favorite burrito delivered to DoorDash, you feel like a winner. Whoa, maybe that's too much winning energy. DoorDash, your door to that winning energy.
You're watching Fairfield by Marriott Rivalry Week. A great start to what should be an amazing weekend of college football. One of the best Black Friday triple headers in history. Georgia Tech on ABC up next. Texas A&M tonight on ABC. And a full slate of Saturday games as well. There's a penalty on the Ole Miss sideline, and so that's why Mississippi State is at the 35, but a sack. Monmielen taking down Taylor.
When Monmielen has really improved the latter half of the season, like this entire Ole Miss defense, but he's got great speed and explosiveness coming off the edge as he showcases on that sack.
Sideline throw to Aiden Williams and a quick wrap up by Perkins inbounds, so the clock continues to move. So we'll find out with Ole Miss winning if it will play in its first ever SEC championship game. They will need Texas to beat Texas A&M and Auburn to knock off Alabama for that to happen. We will also find out, hopefully within the next 24 hours, the future of their head coach, Lane Kiffin, whether he is staying or going to coach elsewhere. And if he's going, will he be allowed to coach in the college football playoff? Alabama and Texas A&M have the easiest paths. If they win, they are in the SEC title game on ABC next Saturday, 4 Eastern. Georgia can still get in, but if not, Georgia beats Georgia Tech. They're in the college football playoff. Those 4 teams are in unless Alabama loses to Auburn. They could get knocked out. Taylor here on 4th down, spinning around, looking for some help, and throws it out of bounds. Ole Miss will take over on downs. Mario Taylor a little shaken up. They're just telling him to stay down, but he wants to end this game walking off the field under his own power.
You saw the athleticism on display all day and just what kind of weapon he can be as a runner. 173 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground today. As Mario Taylor gets his first start for Mississippi State in this Egg Bowl. But the defense, once again, just not able to get the stops. Giving up 38 points and over 500 yards. And what a day, Dave, for Trinidad Chambliss here today with 4 touchdown passes as he's going to soon hoist this golden egg.
2 knees, and this will be the 3rd straight win in Starkville for Ole Miss for the first time in 60 years. And the Rebels are likely playoff bound with an impressive road win despite all the distractions, the outside noise, the inside noise in the building at Oxford. They were able to overcome that, and a very hungry Mississippi State team trying to get to bowl eligibility to win the Egg Bowl 38-19. First 11-win regular season in the history of Ole Miss football. Their 2nd overall season in the last 3 years with 11 wins. Lane Kiffin exchanging pleasantries with his former assistant Jeff Levy. Our Taylor McGregor getting in position to talk with Coach Kiffin. And Taylor, take it away.
Thank you, Coach. Coming into this season, there was so much uncertainty with this group, how talented you guys could be. You just closed out the greatest regular season in Ole Miss history. You're all but guaranteed a spot to go to the college football playoff. How was this group able to come together to make this happen?
Well, I think it's an unbelievable job by these players. You know, we only returned 2 starters from last year. We were picked, I think, 9th or something in the conference. So for these guys to overcome adversity throughout the year, play really well. Like, they played a great second half today. So I'm just really happy for our fans, for our players, and you know, all the stuff they dealt with all week from outside people saying that they were distracted to his noise. Man, this is what these guys do. They've been dealing with it for a long time. So I think it actually brings them together, and they play like that because of all the stuff outside.
And you know how hard it is to achieve something like this throughout a season. What are you most proud of that this group did?
Well, I mean, if you get to 11 wins, if you do something better than it's ever been done before in the entire state and get to 11 regular season wins, and then I think this is 3 Egg Bowls in a row, first time in over 20 years for Ole Miss. So it's really remarkable what these players, assistant coaches were able to do this season.
You told us this week you had not made up your mind as to what you would be doing next season. At this point, have you made up your mind?
No, I haven't. I got a lot of praying to do to figure that out tomorrow, but right now I'm just going to go enjoy these players. I told them last night, you're going to win your 11th game, and all I want to do is experience joy watching you, and that's what I'm about to do.
Are you experiencing that joy right now?
I am.
Thank you, Coach. Dave?
Well, as you heard from Lane with Taylor right there, he still is undecided on whether he is staying or going. One thing's for sure,